Hello and welcome to Nukin, Argentina for round 2 of the 2020 MXS World Grand Prix Championship. It is the MXSGP of Argentina, and we're here bringing you guys the action for the third round. Actually, I apologize, not the second round, the third round of the championship. Here's a look at the 250 standings, which we're going to see hitting the gate here first tonight. Tyler Lang with the 5-point lead over Payson Johnson. And, of course, we'll have the 450 guys going a little bit later this evening. Alexis Leclerc holding the red plate in that division after a win last time out in Valkenswaard last week. But we are in Nukin, Argentina this week, and this track is a kind of really dark soil-based track, kind of loamy dirt. It's 1,670 meters in length, a little over a mile in total length for the racetrack. And we're about 8 miles outside of the Chilean border and about 300 miles away from the actual town of Nukin in Argentina. So it's in the southwest side of Argentina, and the only race of the GP calendar that's in the southern hemisphere. So here's a lap around the track, though. Like I said, very loamy dirt that kind of carries you through these first couple of sections, and you can carry a lot of speed through the first and second corners because they're long, big sweepers, especially the second one, which kind of leads you down the back straightaway here. You got a big roller into this kind of big table slash double, I should say. It's a nice big whip there for the crowd, and then another little scrub table into the far back section of the circuit away from the starting line. And then it kind of all weaves its way back into the center a little bit. You got a sharp right-hand corner and then an option line. Outside here will allow you to triple to the outside or go inside and step on, step off, and hit the big roller on the inside. Then the wave section down to the ride365.com. Table jump is a really big tabletop here. Pitches you pretty high into the air, and a lot of different ruts and different options to choose from as you land there. Inside, outside options here as well, kind of middle line here as we're showing you around the racetrack into the Tiger Designs tabletop. Heading back up to the top of the hill, pretty much the highest point of the racetrack here as you get to the very top here. Sharp 180 around this tree, dropping back down to the valley, and another little scrub single into a table, very similar to the jump sequence out of the second corner of the racetrack, the big sweeper back there. But then you work your way kind of towards the other side of the racetrack from behind the starting gate now, and an inside-outside option here again. Outside's kind of like a roll double, inside's a kind of hug tight and then triple to the outside option. Little single here into a double, and this carries your momentum into an either outside triple in or a inside on off, and then you have split section here, inside roll to the outside or outside roll to the inside. Jump off of this, and then you come into the second to last corner here at tight 180. A lot of passing opportunities. We're going to see guys kind of going for it there. And then a left 90 into the finish line jump for the third round here at the Grand Prix circuit in Argentina. Well, I want to welcome everybody. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer. I'm so glad you guys could be joining us tonight here for the third round of the Grand Prix Championship, Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Circuit. And we're bringing you guys the 250 class action to start here. So what's going to happen right now is there's actually going to be a consolation race that's just getting loaded on the gate right now. In fact, I think I probably need to disconnect and reconnect to the server. But the consolation race is essentially everybody that did not qualify in the top 36 in times. And while I'm thinking about that, I might as well show you guys the top 36 in times. Here's a look at the Open 250 motocross class, aka the MX2 class. It is Colby Eagland who is the fastest rider at this round out of Canada, just leading Payson Johnson, Braden Carter, Nathan Prynn, and Bryce Whelan. Tyler Lang down there in 7th is your points leader in this championship, so not running times comparable to our leaders just yet, but we'll see how the track develops and it races a little bit different. Tyler Lang may be able to leapfrog a couple of these guys in front of him and challenge for the win today, or maybe we'll see a fresh-faced winner in this GP championship and see what's going on. Alrighty, let's jump back into the server like I said and get this consolation race started. Hopefully I didn't miss it. Oh, I did. Of course I did. All right, they are going down to the first corner, and I got to get the cameras on because I'm an idiot. There we go. All right, consolation race out on the track. Remember, 4 guys go through out of this one, so it's going to be a mad dash for every single one of these riders out there. And as you can see, they're already working their way into the kind of back section of the racetrack here. Big tabletop into another short tabletop and carrying a lot of momentum into this back section. So we'll see how it kind of shakes down when our faster riders hit the track a little bit later on. But these guys, they were qualifiers 37 on back for tonight's racing program, and they're just essentially trying to make their way into tonight's racing action here in Argentina. So it's Brian Brinker with the early lead away from Cooper Hunt. Johnny Mayo's in 3rd, and Joe Wagner holding down the 4th and final transfer spot. Darius Peterson's back here as is Chandler Bloxham. Tyler Moses getting passed around the outside by Colt Hans. Oh, and then Hans goes down and takes down Moses. So Brian Kelly is looking to gain a spot there, and he will, as does Hunter Ash. And Joey Arico as Tyler Moses gets up behind Daniel Irvine. Whoa, big double whippers there, but these guys outside a transfer spot. Looks like Colton Vegan did not leave the gate. Neither did I, but I'm in warm-up mode. So we have about, looks like 15 or so guys trying to go for these final 4 spots. And usually, as it is in all competition in this game, the numbers will dwindle a little bit as the season goes on. People are a little bit less interested in the championship fights, so understandable. And eventually we may not even have a consolation race because that's happened before. But right now, still got full gates every week, and really good to see that kind of turnout. Of course, if you're looking for more American-based stuff, obviously this is the North American World Grand Prix Championship, so this is all the NA athletes that we normally see, or the NA gamers, I should say, that we normally see in competition for the Supercross and Motocross Championship. Well, the Motocross Championship starts tomorrow night. That's right, WW Ranch, the opener of the 2020 Ride365.com Pro Motocross Championship tomorrow night. Same time, same place, live here on Start Your Systems. And we'll be racing tomorrow night, so you won't want to miss that at all. But you won't want to miss this frantic battle for the lead in the consolation race, as Brinker made a mistake and Cooper Hunt took full advantage of it to go into the race lead there. So nicely done by Hunt to take advantage, and then Brinker goes down. Let's see if he loses transfer spot here. He goes back to 4th, 5th place, 6th place. They're coming over the jump. They split him. So he's going to go back to 6th as Darius Peterson and Chandler Bloxham both squeak on by. Rival decal rider Darius Peterson and DeBomb Designs, number 81 of Chandler Bloxham, going for that final transfer spot side by side. Oh, and down goes Peterson on the outside. That should let Brinker back through. No, it actually let Colt Hans through. Brian Brinker lost a few other positions out of that crash, it seems. So let's reset things here for just a minute. It is Cooper Hunt out front. Joe Wagner into 2nd on the red line, number 741. Johnny Mayo, his teammate on the 139, has moved into 3rd, and it is Colt Hans now taking over that final transfer spot on the Dixieland Power Sports 821. So Darius Peterson going to try to go back to work here and perhaps make a move. Inside-outside options are aplenty on this racetrack, and it's a very fast racetrack. These guys are going to be definitely peeking into the 4 and 5 gear range on a lot of these straightaways, as it looks like Hans just had a small slide out, but he recovers nicely. There's Peterson just waiting for an opportunity. Around the sweeper we go, and up to the floater single down into the gap. This big double table into the back. Oh, and there goes Peterson. Looks like he kind of double whipped there. Maybe he caught a rut on the face. Down he goes. So he's going to lose some spots here. Chandler Bloxham and Daniel Irvine take advantage of that. And Irvine may be the man on the move here as he moves into 5th. He did a 51-1 last time by. So Colt Hans laid down a 51-4. But ahead of them, Johnny Mayo at a 55-8. And he's lost touch with his teammate up the road of him. So Colt Hans trying to put a little bit of a buffer between himself and the final transfer spot. May just go after Johnny Mayo for 3rd here. See all these guys funneling down to the inside there at the top of the hill. Get this roller clean, and then this big table in the center. There's a lot of big jumps on this track too. It's fast and it is jumpy. And the dirt is very loamy, so these guys are going to be sticking in nicely, but Hans kind of lands on a braking bump there and loses the rear end, so he tries to get going and falls down again, and that's going to allow Irvine to hit him. Irvine has moved back around, though. He's into 4th now. Daniel Irvine gets the on-off and down to the inside, and Colt Hans has to go back to work. White flag is waving for your race leader, Cooper Hunt. So this time by, these guys will be seeing that white flag, and it is go time for riders like Colt Hans, Darius Peterson, to try to get back around Daniel Irvine. It looks like Hans is going to have the best chance. But if Daniel Irvine and Hans get together, always got to keep an eye out for who's coming behind. in and out of the first section. Cooper Hunt looks like he's opened up a small gap on Wagner. Johnny Mayo 11 seconds down, and then this battle between Irvine and Hans is definitely the one to watch on the screen right now. Got a little out of shape on that rut there, did Colt Hans. But he's going to use a nice inside to kind of outside move there to get the step on, step off. Not sure if that's faster, though. It seems like tripling into that corner was kind of the way to go, at least for Irvine there. He pulled away. And Irvine now has Johnny Mayo in his line of sight here. So Irvine, just like Hans a lap ago, trying to close up onto Johnny Mayo and maybe put a buffer between himself and the 5th place position. Mayo streaking down the inside, holding position well. Doesn't have to do too much. He doesn't want to lose that position back to 5th, so he's just trying to manage here. And Daniel Irvine looks like he is really interested in trying to go around him to take this spot away. Look at this, inside move. Kind of launches the roller a little bit. He's almost alongside of him. Double in the back. And it's going to be split lines. Irvine's going to stay lower. Mayo swings outside. Up front, Cooper Hunt has taken the win. Irvine down the inside, moves into 3rd. Oh, look at this. Colt Hans launching down into the final corner. Couple corners here. He goes to the inside and falls over as he tries to make the pass on Johnny Mayo. Well done by Mayo to not force the issue there and just kind of wait for the mistake to happen, and he will go into the motos tonight, finishing 4th. Colt Hans sent it in and just couldn't quite get it done. He'll cross the line in 5th, 6 seconds down in the end. So unless a lot of cuts out of our front 4, that seems to be pretty solid there. Ooh, Tyler Moses and Chandler Bloxham just absolutely lit each other up in the final corner for 6th right there. Obviously at that point it's just pride because neither of them are going to the motos, but clearly maybe some frustration boiling over for both of them as it's a bit of a drag race there to the finish line. Brian Brinker and Brian Kelly coming in side by side. It's going to be Brian with an I beating Brian with a Y over the line, though. Hunter Ash doesn't look like he's going to make it through tonight. Joey Arico, saw him in chat, says he had computer issues or some internet issues, so that's a bummer. And then Colton Fagan never got off the line. So it was actually only 13 runners in this consolation race. And we'll wait to see for cuts to come in, but it looks pretty solid for our top 4 riders to go through here. Looks like we just got to wait for our man Hunter Ash back here to make it through. Glad everybody could join us tonight. Seeing a couple people already hanging out in chat. Good to see you guys here. Really appreciate the support every round that we have here of the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. And over the line goes Hunter Ash, and into the motos goes Johnny Mayo, Daniel Irvine, Joe Wagner, and Cooper Hunt. They will make up positions 37 through 40 for gate selections in what will now be MX1 Race 1 here in just a few moments. Again, we are in Neuquén, Argentina for the 3rd round of the 2020 Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship, the North American Championship. Of course, there are EU championships being ran as well. You see a lot more of our European counterparts compete in that, but it's also ran on a time of day that's a little bit more appetizing to them, kind of midday in the US, a little bit later in the evening for Europeans, because as of course right now, it is very early morning in Europe, so not many European riders stay up to actually race this event, but you will see some of the European contingent still showing up and racing in this event, but it definitely gains the most of the North America contingency, with the Canadian and American superstars tending to race in this series. And I'd happily cover the EU series if I didn't have a day job, but unfortunately I'm working in the middle of the day, so I can't really jump out of there and cover the EU stuff. So we cover the NA stuff. It is still the World Grand Prix. You are still classified as a world champion if you win this series. And a beautiful track here in the southwestern part of Argentina. All right, so I see a couple people hanging out in chat. Good to see you guys here. It's like Caden Wilson seeing this for the first time live. That's really cool. Always glad to have fans checking it out for the first time live, as does Spoke 45. First time watching live. Good to see him. Definitely some crazy battles down at the finish line in that consolation race. And in the end, it was Johnny Mayo holding on as Colt Hans tried to throw it down to the inside on the last couple corners there, but just couldn't quite get it done. Habo Dude 05 says it's 3 in the morning for him, but he's still here watching. That's what I like to hear. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Glad you could join us. Sorry that the timing has it up so late at night, but I don't know if you're anything like me and maybe you're a high school student or you're in college or something along those lines. You stay up till 3 a.m. anyway, so I don't know. I don't know everybody's situation, but if that's your situation, that's cool because that's what I did. Alrighty, folks. So MX2 race number 1 will be coming up here in just a minute. Of course, this is the MX2 hour and a half of the coverage that we're going to have here. Essentially, consolation race just ended. We're going straight into MX2 race 1. There will be a 30-minute plus 2-lap MX2 race 1, then a 5-minute intermission just to give these guys a little bit of a break. Thumb pump isn't like a super real thing, but sometimes guys have a little bit of a problem with it. So just kind of let everybody settle down and then right back into it, another 30 plus 2 for the MX2 class. Then on the other side of that, we'll have a quick intermission. I won't actually shut the broadcast down, so you'll just want to sit tight. But on the other side of that quick intermission, we will have the 450 class, or the MX1 division, going off. They will have, of course, a consolation race, just like the MX2 division. And then they will do 2 30-minute plus 2-lap motos to decide a winner here at round 3 of the MXS World Grand Prix Championship in MX Simulator. Love to see all the people hanging out in chat. Love a busy chat. Always like to see people getting interactive and hanging out. Glad to see that we got Aiden Calderon saying this is really cool. 3rd live event for 7 Spy 1429. We got Dumasani Midi, first time watching. Danger Zone 12 has been here every stream since last year, so I like that. Ryan McComas has sleep deprivation, so that's a bummer. Charlie B24 is his first live stream, and he's watching from the UK, so 2 a.m. right now. Always have to watch in the morning. Bummer for that. But again, if you are from Europe and you are falling asleep and don't want to watch the whole event, I get it. These are always uploaded. The second after the event is over, it's uploaded right to YouTube. You can go back and watch the full replay. If you're going to sleep it off, you can watch it when you wake up. So don't feel bad if you're missing a second of this action, because it is still archived on our channel. And you won't miss a beat of the action, so don't worry too much about that. All right, just getting loaded into MX2 Race 1. Ooh, nice. Brandon Keene, first time watching. We got Agustina Reyes watching from Chile, which is really cool because this is actually really close. Chile and Argentina obviously border each other, but the MXSGP of Argentina racetrack, which is Patagonia, is located very close to the Chilean borders, so kind of cool to see. We got some Chilean fans watching here tonight. And let's see everybody that's out here tonight in this MX2 division. Of course, we're going to want to keep an eye on Tyler Lang, our current points leader in this class. Daniel Paz, Trent Shepard, Benjamin Sayes, Jacob Hubbard, Quinn McDaniel, Charles Gable. They're just on a bit of a parade lap right now, just checking things out. Here's Braden Carter, who is now on the QM1 machine. Of course, last week, the number 18 rider picked up the moto win, the first moto win at Valkenswaard for Panini Motorsports, but at the same time was kicked off the team for violating an apparent agreement that he had with the team. So we went over that extensively. He asked me to reiterate this week that he was actually kicked off the team and not that he chose to leave. But he has picked up a new ride with the QM1 Yamaha team, and he's looking to kind of pick up right where he left off last week with that win in the first moto in Valkenswaard. But it's so glad you guys could join us here tonight. Oh, we got a red flag situation. Looks like we're getting re-wrecked here. Alrighty, now it's time to go for MX2 Race 1 in Argentina. So glad that you guys could join us tonight. Gonna have a lot of action here. 4 motos coming your way, hot and heavy. Pick your favorite rider, because he's lined up on the gate right now, Shirley. And we're having 40 guys going to go sprinting into the first corner as JLV turns that 30 cart sideways and moonwalks his way up the track. It is MX2 Race 1 live on SYS TV from Argentina. And we're looking at Hubbard. He's got a pretty good jump. He's going to try to control it to the first corner. And it is Jacob Hubbard, LastMX.com, number 75, with the Racetech.com Whole Shot Award. He immediately falls in the second corner, hands it over to Bryce Whelan. So Whelan on that 313 Panini Motorsports goes right to the lead. It's Daniel Mills right behind him in second. Kevin Gonzalez moves up to third. We got Chris Post on the outside moving into fourth. So a good start for the 315 at Post. But everybody's chasing Bryce Whelan as he leads them through this back sweeper. Inside-outside options aplenty here. Daniel Mills going to try to jump to the inside, use this rut. 3 different lines through here. Oh, Whelan trying to get the driver on the outside. Look at 3 wide down the rollers here. And it is going to be Whelan holding the spot, but Gonzalez almost made the pass around the outside of him. And again, going to try to use that middle rut. Look at all the options available. A huge amount of race surface being used here. And everybody just trying to funnel into a good line here early on in the running. But it is still Whelan from Gonzalez, and it looks like Daniel Mills is still holding on to the 3 spot. Gonzalez here on the 3 might be trying to size up a move for the lead on Whelan, but everybody's still so close. This racetrack so fast and not very technical, so everybody's kind of doing the same thing. And we're going to see some close racing throughout this first race here. So Gonzalez losing just a little bit of touch off the back of Whelan, and instead getting pressured once again as Daniel Mills trying to shoot down the inside. Almost alongside, but just not quite there yet, and Gonzalez is going to use this on-off line, which seems to be the preferred method. Nobody really enjoying that outside triple line very much. And Mills got a little bit off kilter there. Final couple corners, and lap 1 about to be in the books here. MX2 Race 1. Lap 1 goes to Bryce Whelan. He continues to lead out front from Kevin Gonzalez. It is Daniel Mills in third. Luke Magnetti sitting in fourth. Strong ride for him early on. Chris Post up here, as is Isaiah Dickerson, Alex Kerr near the front of the field as they all go down by the mechanics area. Trent Adams, Chase Donovan, Julian Bomer, and here is your red plate holder, points leader, Tyler Lang, looking like he's in about 12th, coming through the first corner on the second lap of the race here, and he's got some work to do with some heavy hitters in front of him, including his teammate, Isaiah Dickerson. But he's going to try to go to work on Julian Bomer down the inside. Through the back section here, nice dualies action. Again, so many options here, and they're going to use it to go around the inside. That was Donovan, I believe. Yeah, losing 2 spots there on the 29. Just seemed like he just got the rut wrong, didn't choose the wrong rut, but now he just lost some more spots. There goes Nathan Prynn, and almost got passed by Cooper Hunt, fresh out of the Consi. But Nathan Prynn, another rider we need to keep an eye on here, the rider out of France, who was fastest qualifier at the first round at Matterley-Basin, has had some interesting roller coaster results to this point. He went 325 at the opening round, and last week was able to put in a solid effort to get himself onto the box with a couple top 5 results in his motos. So now he sits 5th in the championship and is looking to make amends for that early 25th place in the second moto at Matterley-Basin. Trying to give chase to the points leader, Lang, who almost got into the back of Bomer there. And they're all trying to weave around Trent Adams on the inside there. So Lang going to go around the inside. Here comes Prynn trying to make the move. And they're all going to move on by Trent Adams. So Prynn jumping down the inside. Ooh, Lang gets that move done on Bomer finally. Inside of the split, nicely done. And Bomer almost jumps off the track there. So Prynn trying to go down the far inside to make a move, just doesn't quite stick into that rut. But you can see just how close everybody still is as they come across the line once again. And it is now Kevin Gonzalez leading. So he has made the move on Bryce Whelan to take over the race lead. Jump down into the valley and jump back out. Kevin Gonzalez going to be disappointed with what happened earlier in the year when he hole shot the second motor of Matterley-Basin and immediately crashed in the second corner, but trying to make amends to that right now with a good start in MX2 Race 1 in Argentina and already opening up a nice lead on Whelan behind him. That's already almost like a 3-second gap out front as Whelan suddenly has Isaiah Dickerson closing up on him. And let's go on board with the number 260 machine. See how much airtime these jumps give these guys, though, just up in the air for so long on them. Big, peaky takeoffs on all the jumps, really. And these guys, in order to keep that front end high and the power going as soon as they land, they are just wide open on every single jump. It's how these 250F riders ride these bikes, though, in this game. Not a lot of letting off in the air, a lot of shifting and trying to land in the right RPM range to get the power down. Whelan looks like he's being caught a little bit here by Dickerson. Get a lap time check next time by. This will be the third official time through the lap stand for them as they click on to lap number 4. 44.9 Dickerson back in third, a 45.4 out of Whelan, and a 46.1 out of Gonzalez. So I thought Gonzalez might have been pulling away from these guys. It's not true. It's actually Dickerson closing up the most on them. Luke Magnetti still sitting back here. Daniel Mills has dropped to 5th. Nathan Prynn climbed all the way up to 6th. Trent Adams 7th. Donovan 8th. Rasmus Eriksson, the rider out of Sweden, great ride right now in 9th. And Chris Post holds down the final top 10 position, but maybe not for long. Tyler Lang looks like he's lost touch with Nathan Prynn ahead of him and trying to get back inside of that top 10 down the inside of Post. Scrubs alongside of him and looks like, oh, Chris Post throwing absolute dirt over that jump and still alongside our points leader, not trying to lay up whatsoever. Gonna try to cut back underneath, but just gonna miss that rut, and Lang looks like he will complete that pass officially now as Post has to settle in behind him. Through the wave section, laying back into 10th. Next target will be the 42 machine of Rasmus Eriksson on that TM. Donovan a nice job of regrouping after getting past a little bit there early on. Same for Trent Adams. He kind of got freight trained by a little bit, but they've kind of almost tag teamed up here a little bit and tried to work their way towards the front at this point. They do themselves a favor by keeping close tabs on Nathan Prynn. Back up front, though, battle is on. Gonzalez, Whelan, and Isaiah Dickerson all closing up. The 313, and the 260. Oh, and there goes Gonzalez down out of the lead. Just drove it in too deep into the corner and lost the front end. And he's going to get up behind Magnetti, so he will be in 4th now. And that now gives us a entirely different battle for the lead as Whelan has clean track. Let's see if he can try to stretch out the gap on Dickerson behind him. So much speed carried through this section. You can see these guys really trying hard to just kind of like, almost like just kind of close off that jump a little bit better by scrubbing in. Staying lower, obviously, the way to go. Looks like Dickerson chomping at the bit here, wants every piece of Bryce Whelan for the lead that he can handle. Putting the pressure on that 313 machine. Whelan's no slouch here. Of course, both these guys triple-digit numbers, but that's essentially because they did not race the Grand Prix circuit last year, so they were given higher numbers in the national number scale for the Grand Prix circuit. But Whelan, low-digit number in normal North American competition, and has won some Supercross races before, won some motocross races before, so no slouch, despite the fact that Dickerson is a champion on a 250F in this game. I think Whelan would like to think of himself as someone who can take it to Dickerson any day of the week. And right now he's doing a really nice job at holding the 260 at bay. And you notice the track continuing to weather in a little bit more. That's because there is terrain deformation, essentially. It's a road in this game, the erode system, and there's different variables that the track crew gives to the erode values for each round. So you'll see certain sections of the track wear in a little bit more. Usually it's the corners, deeper ruts. Straightaways they usually leave a little less prone to erode, similar to what happens in real life. Usually you don't have super rutted out straights as opposed to flat corners. It is still Whelan, though, leading here, and has opened up a little bit of breathing room now on Dickerson. So just when you thought Dickerson might have been closing that gap down, Bryce Whelan has responded and reopened up that gap again, doing himself a nice favor there of not having to think too much about where exactly Dickerson might size up a maneuver. It is Magnetti still in 3rd, though, after he made that move when Kevin Gonzalez fell from the lead. And Gonzalez still sitting back here in 4th. But the man on the move, perhaps, Nathan Prin, the Impact number 130 Suzuki, has really found his groove here in the early runnings and has gotten away from points leader Tyler Lang, whom he started the moto with back in about 10th. He's moved all the way up to 5th, and he's eyeing 4th now on the number 3 of Gonzalez. Nice move around the outside of that inside roller and just hugging that rut so smoothly. Prin's been in a bit of an anomaly this year, someone that we really have never seen before competing in the North American Championship, but clearly one of the best French riders, perhaps one of the best up-and-coming French riders that exist in this game. Of course, long-established French riders like Alexis Leclerc, Logan Depaty, Corentin Dubois. A couple of names there. Oh, and Prin goes down, but he's still on 2 wheels. Wow, that was really lucky they didn't fall off the bike there. You don't normally pirouette like that and slam the ground and stay up, but he was very fortunate to do so because he only lost about 3 or 4 seconds to Magnetti in the end, as Gonzalez has moved around Magnetti and gotten back into 3rd. So Gonzalez on the charge. Dickerson still trying to give wheel and fits out front, but it's just not close yet. I'm curious, lap time 46.1, 46.2. I mean, they're basically matching each other's pace up front, and because of that, they're actually getting away from the rest of the field. But I am noticing one thing in the upper right-hand corner of the map up there. We're 11 and a half minutes into this first race, and they're already going to catch lappers here. Now, maybe before this lap is over. It depends on how fast they get to them. Yeah, they're probably going to get to them before this lap is over, and it's a pretty big group of them, maybe 8 or so lappers all grouped together. And this track is really wide, lots of lines, so it should be fairly easy to move around the lap traffic, but you just never know. Those things, or the lap traffic can always play a little bit bigger part in race outcomes than you want them to, for sure. 1.4 seconds in it. And definitely at this point, Whelan's about to catch the first little duo of lap traffic there. So those must be guys running P39 and P40 right now. And Dickerson might try to take advantage of this and use lap traffic as a bit of a pick here. Whelan moves around though. And Dickerson quick to follow through. That may have been Johnny Mayo. Couldn't quite catch the number. 1.4 seconds, 46.4 and a 47.1. So it looks like Whelan actually stretched that gap out just a little bit that last time by. And right now, lap traffic not a terrible issue, but there's a rider down here on the left side of the track, and Whelan has to take evasive maneuvers. That is going to allow alongside now almost was Dickerson. He almost got there, just not quite, and now another mistake out of Whelan. Dickerson down the inside, split options. This is going to be Dickerson's pass made. Indeed, it looks like Whelan just let him go. So Dickerson to the lead, into the waves about halfway through this race. 13 minutes and some change down. A little over 16 minutes still left to go on the clock. Isaiah Dickerson, your new leader, but ooh, he just made a big mistake there. And here comes Whelan trying to fight back. So Bryce Whelan, as quickly as he just sort of handed the lead over, is not done fighting for it in the slightest and giving Dickerson some pressure here. Oh, look at that filthy scrub. Left side of your screen there from Whelan. You can see how much deeper some of these corners and the ruts are already getting. They're getting worn in a lot more. At this point, it looks like Dickerson has been able to establish a bit of a gap. It's not huge, but it's noticeable. That little bit of breathing room that you have where you don't have to worry about whether or not the guy's going to make a last-ditch effort to try to make some sort of pass or anything like that. Huge. Because you can just focus on your own lines, get back into that tunnel vision, and start putting laps together. And Bryce Whelan's hoping to counteract that by closing the gap down. Kevin Gonzalez still running in third, and Prin has moved up into fourth. So we've lost Luke Magnetti somewhere. In fact, looks like he's still back there in fifth as I just saw him flash by the screen. But Prin trying to go after Gonzalez for the 3 spot down by the mechanics area once again. And that's going to be a good close battle to keep an eye on. Gonzalez, one of the most consistent riders in this class, has almost quite easily had bad starts most of the Grand Prix Championship thus far and worked his way into top 10 positions. Sure, it wasn't easy by his stretch of the imagination. He would love to start up front in all these things, but he's had some bad starts. He's had to work his way forward, and he's pretty consistently found himself inside the top 10. So speed, not a problem at all for Gonzalez on a consistent basis, but Nathan Prynne, outright speed, he's got it. He has been dynamite fast through these first 2 rounds of the championship thus far, and looking to make even a bigger dent in the championship scenarios. If he can come up and finish in 3rd in this one, maybe even a little bit higher as they work their way around a downed rider right there. Not sure who that was, but here is Magnetti still back in 5th on the BPC number 107. Solid effort thus far. He's halfway through, so now it's time to kind of go over some of these jumps, take a deep breath, and settle in for another 15 minutes. It is only a video game, but sometimes these races, as long as they are, can feel like an eternity, especially when you're in a good position like Magnetti is here. You're just thinking, give me the checkered flag. I'd love to finish 5th. I'd love to finish higher in this moto, sure, but I'll take a 5th. I'd rather finish here than 10th. And you're just dragging on as the moto continues, the time ticks away. Suddenly you have riders like Tyler Lang closing up on you to get into 5th spot. So Lang, continuing his march forward, trying to keep tabs on Nathan Prynne ahead of him, has caught up to the back of Luke Magnetti here, past the halfway point. Down the inside, ooh, Magnetti shutting the door to get to this middle rut in the second corner, clearly the most worn-in rut at this point, and Lang swings inside here just under our camera stand, and he's almost alongside. He might actually be alongside at this point. Oh, it's so close. Scrubs it down. This is going to be the move for sure, and Lang does indeed complete that pass to move up into 5th. Magnetti didn't put up a huge fight there, but again, he's not really accustomed to being in this high position and would love to finish here, I would have to assume, so he's just trying to play it safe. Here is Brayton Carter on that brand new team of his, the QM1 ride back here. Got picked up by this team after Panini Motorsports dropped him during the first moto last week in Valkenswaard. So nice to see that Carter landed on his feet, no problemo. And thus far, not the same result as he had last week with that win. And I'm sure this result isn't the worst case scenario for him as he runs just outside of that battle for 5th. Colby Eaglin's back here. Panini Motorsports, so his former teammate on the 57. Just ahead of Trent Adams on the Takatoji 22. Ethan Gurst is back here. The other number 260, so we have a 260 off. Ethan Gurst, 260 for essentially this whole year as far as I remember, and obviously Dickerson is not number 260 most of the time. So saw Dickerson at the first round yelling at Ethan Gurst to change his number because he should be number 260, but I don't know. Flip a coin, I guess. Or maybe just let them both run 260. They're clearly on different bikes. I can tell who they are, so no big deal there. Got a rider down. 262, that's lap traffic there. Mills trying to split him. Gonna be able to split on through. Try to keep tabs on Ethan Gurst and perhaps close up on Trent Adams ahead of him. A little further back is Alex Kerr on the Takatoji, I believe this is the 84 ride. Looks like Gurst is actually running 160, but has 260 on the bike. And Kerr, number 84, goes around Mills, who was on the ground. So Daniel Mills just drops back to 12th. Chase Donovan has drifted a little further back. He's now 13th, ahead of Luke Sullivan. Got Charles Gable in the mix here as well. It was right off the track, but that was lap traffic again. Must have been, I think that was the 262 again, perhaps. Trent Shepard landing off the jump alongside Benjamin Saves, who's trying to swing around the outside. Oh, and then got a little sideway. Whoa, look at all the riders going through. This is a freight train right here. Dylan Cavacuti, Julian Bomer, Payson Johnson, Jacob Hubbard, all storming around, and they're trying to give chase to Benjamin Saves up ahead of him. Hubbard, Payson Johnson, and Julian Bomer. Oh, and Johnson just went down. This is going to hurt some title chances that he was hoping to have here. He's been really consistent through the first 2 Grand Prix, but this is not doing himself any favors right now. He's dropping out of points, I believe. He is, 23rd now. Tyron Tomic and who's that alongside there? Must be lap traffic there. Is it? Yeah, it must be. Oh, Tomic, whoever it is. Whoa! Just exit stage right. Tomic a little contact with him there. And that man is out of here. No idea where he went. So across, another rider back here. There's a lot of battles throughout the field. Go anywhere you want, you'll find something. Let's peek back out front though and realize that Bryce Whelan's gap has extended now, so something happened to Isaiah Dickerson, either straight up losing time or maybe he went down, but Bryce Whelan just had a fall of his own, and oh, that's a terrible spot to get stuck. He's just going to be sitting there. He's got to back it up and try to get it righted now as he goes around the outside of the jump here, goes through our little flag stand there and down the other side, but it has handed Isaiah Dickerson the race lead. So just as quickly as we mentioned, it looked like Dickerson may have had a mistake in his own right. Went down somewhere, not sure what exactly happened. Bryce Whelan crashes away the lead himself, although he's not too far behind him, so this could still get spicy. And Tyler Lang has moved up to 3rd and would love to say something about the win in this moto. 21 minutes down, almost 22 minutes that is, so just over 8 minutes and 2 laps remain here in race 1. And Dickerson now checks in on a lap number 13 as your new race leader. I don't think Bryce Whelan is quite going to let this one go, though. He looks like he is raring up for another battle. Dickerson has been pretty much one of the fastest riders on track in all 4 of the first motos to start the year, but I'll tell you what, Bryce Whelan trying to make a case for him being the man to beat in this one. And he has got Dickerson right in his crosshairs once again as they go through the waves. And he got a much better drive there. Scrubs down the table very nicely. He's going to tuck far inside. Oh man, this might be it. Down the inside, and yes, Dickerson tucks the front wheel, so Whelan right back into the race lead. Not even a whole lap on after his fall is right back to the front of the field, and now Dickerson has to respond. Ooh, big time error there for Whelan. Dickerson, ooh. That little correction when they're trying to come back from a whip and it looks like it's going to go a little bit too far is always a little bit in the danger zone. Man, Tyler Lang has got this thing close. 47.8 last time by, 50.2 and a 59.5 out of Whelan. I want to get a lap time check next time by because Tyler Lang is not too far behind our leaders right now. Ooh, riders down. Oh, nice job, Lang, avoiding that. So lost a little bit of time. That's going to affect his lap time, obviously, but see where he comes around this time by. Side rut 49.3 to a 51.5 and a 48.9. So Whelan actually fastest lap last time by of our lead group with Tyler Lang. Man, is he creeping up and getting into this thing or what? We may have a 3-rider battle for the win before this is over. So can Dickerson reel in Whelan? Can Lang reel them both in? And Kevin Gonzalez is pretty close too. Magnetti has gotten back around Nathan Prinz, so it seems like the 130 Impact Riders had some troubles here, perhaps some crashes. And Braden Carter is still back here giving chase from 7th, but he's lost a lot of time or he's just not really that close to these guys. That was not Gonzalez down, that was somebody else, but Magnetti has dropped in between these guys. Man, this is such an interesting race. These guys are all just kind of matching each other's paces. Not really a lot of somebody going a lot faster than everybody else. It's just kind of the same thing throughout, and because of that, it's staying fairly close. I mean, we got 4 guys basically in the same straightaway right now, in it with a shot at the win, and I mean, Magnetti and Prin really are not that far behind Gonzalez right now. Maybe another 10 seconds, 13 seconds, I guess, but not terrible. I mean, this could get pretty interesting before this is over, no doubt. I still think Lang might be the one moving the most right now. Guess we could do a lap time check once again. 25 minutes into this one, 49 dead. Bryce Whelan, 49.8. Dickerson lost more time, 48.8 Lang, so that's the fastest up here. Oh, Gonzalez just tucked the front wheel. He had put down a 48.9, and he was right behind Lang there, but he just tucked the front wheel. Now 5 seconds down. So what is going to happen with this lead battle? At any point, I don't want to switch away just because I feel like at any point something's going to happen, and we're either going to miss it or we're going to catch it. I'd rather catch it. Oh, there it is. Just as I say it, Whelan goes down. There goes Dickerson. There goes Lang. It's an MV Films 1-2 just like that, and Whelan's got to be wondering where the heck this duo came from. Another mistake. Fortunately, Gonzalez had a mistake in his own right, and he just had another one there in the background as he's weaving through the bales. But Whelan coughs up the lead, and now it's going to be between teammates to settle it. Dickerson swings outside. Lang just kind of picked the lapper up on the inside and just still hit the inside rut regardless. Man, this is getting close. These guys somehow get together, or maybe Whelan picks up the pace here down the stretch. It's not out of the question. A little mistake there for Dickerson on the inside, and Lang's got a great drive around the outside. Oh, it is on right now, folks. 27 minutes in. Only 3 minutes and 2 laps remain. Oh, Lang got a little kick there. Definitely cost him some time, but a nice job to recover. Sure, the MV Films pit crew is hanging off the side of the railing there, giving the pit boards to their teammates. Who is going to take this one? Will Dickerson hold off his championship leading teammate to pick up this win? Or does Lang come slicing through the field and get this one late? Or do they get together and perhaps Whelan picks up this win? Time ticking away, probably looking at 4 laps to go perhaps. Rider down in the waves. Didn't quite get a number there, but it looked like a KTM perhaps. Look at the speed Lang's carrying in the corner. I'll tell you what, man, Bryce Whelan not out of the picture at all. In fact, when you see him come up the hill right here, look at this. Right there on that Cowie in the background. He's jumping same time in the air as Tyler Lang. Might be closing this thing back down. Still, perhaps, a shot at winning this thing outright, especially if these two start throwing it in on each other. And Lang might have an inside move here. He's going to the far inside rut. Oh, but he stands it up, lapped rider. That is Tomic. It looks like on the 3-1-1. Really nothing he could do there. He just sitting duck, unfortunately. But I think Lang was trying to throw it into that inside rut. Maybe got a little spooked by Tomic being there. Now he is right there. Got to wheel in on his teammate, but just couldn't get it done. Dickerson has got to be biting his lips here. Looks like they just got around. I think that was that Quentin McDaniel, or was that, couldn't quite catch the number, but it was a QM1 rider, and Whelan's still back there lurking. 29 minutes down is definitely going to be 2 to go next time by, so 3 laps left of race 1, and here's Lang's move. Perhaps down the inside, just doesn't get there. Crosses over, carries more speed. He's going to try to scrub this down. They both launch deep into the valley. Oh, man, this is so close, Lang! Oh, and he saves it. He's still on 2 wheels, and he's still charging. Lap traffic kind of mixed in on this thing. Whelan's still back there looking for an opportunity. More riders down in the waves. Everybody having problems in the wave section. Side by side. Can't. What is that? Number 318. I think that's Chris Post. And he just got passed by Tomic. Dickerson just trying to weave his way very methodically through the lap traffic. 30-minute mark now come and gone. Tyler Lang has got to be going, are you kidding me with this lap traffic? They just keep getting in. Lang seems like he may have the speed, but he just doesn't seem to be getting the luck with lap traffic, and we've lost Bryce Whelan off the back of this group. He is no longer in the picture, so Dickerson going to probably bring us down to 2 to go here. Still with the race lead. It's so interesting he's not going on off there, and he just cased, and down the inside goes his teammate Lang for the lead. And he makes a mistake next corner. Oh, Dickerson's trying to get the drive. He gets a great run off the top of the hill. He's trying to go down the inside, but Lang holds it on, and Tyler Lang leads in Argentina. 2-lap board out, this time by Dickerson. Does he have a response? So weird. He missed the on-off, and still he went for the triple, I guess. Cased it, coughed up the lead, and now 2 to go, and it's still a battle for the top spot here. It just doesn't seem like Dickerson has the right lines. I'm not sure if he's not comfortable with his setup in the main ruts or whatever, but Lang seems to be carrying so much more speed through the main lines still, which are a little bit deeper. You can throw it in a little harder, bank off of them. And Dickerson's trying to search around to find some new lines perhaps. Oh, Lang again almost in that section, got it stood up a little bit. It definitely doesn't look like Dickerson's laying down, trying to go back after him. Through the waves, Bryce Whelan definitely has lost some touch with these guys. Kevin Gonzalez still back here in 4th. Print has clawed up to 5th. Magnetti has dropped back to 6th behind him. Braden Carter still 7th. 8th for Eagland. 9th for Gerst. And Payson Johnson, nice salvage moto here. He was down in 23rd when we last saw him. He is up to 10th and might still have a shot at 9th, maybe 8th before this is over. But of course, these guys just got the 2-lap board as well, so they've got to ramp up the intensity down the stretch. So Tyler Lang leads, but oh man, this is going to be good. White flag is about to come out, and it is a teammate battle royale at the front of the field. Swing to the outside. Lang got a much better drive through there. White flag is waving, and it is. Oh, Dickerson. Oh my gosh, I thought he threw too hard. He was backwards. Tyler Lang still holds the lead. Dickerson giving chase. One last lap effort in him, perhaps. Or is Lang going to hold this one off? Dickerson will be kicking himself there on that little mistake on the triple, because at this point, that has been the entire difference in this battle. It's really the only reason Lang has got the upper hand for the lead. It just keeps messing up that section. I don't know what he's trying to get accomplished there, because the inside move there from Dickerson, so much better. Double through the waves. Looks like Dickerson maybe got a bit of a cleaner drive. Oh man, who is this going to be? Driving back up the hill, hitting the table one more time. Oh, Dickerson lays the scrub down hard. Oh my goodness, this is so close. Teammate battle to the line in Moto 1. Oh, Dickerson front wheel tucks and down he goes. That will not cost him third, because Whelan has coughed it up to Kevin Gonzalez. But Tyler Lang breathes a big sigh of relief there coming down the stretch. He can kind of cruise this one home, but that was going to be a nail biter in these last couple of corners, especially with how wide open these last few turns are. But here it is, 2 corners to go, and now 1 turn to go. Tyler Lang brings it down, and MX2 Race 1 in Argentina belongs to Tyler Lang. Your points leader comes all the way through, wins this one again. Dickerson, a late effort there to try to get it back away from him, comes up just a bit short. He'll finish second. Kevin Gonzalez, he'll be stoked with this ride, brings it home in third. A nice, solid effort there. nearly had a shot at the win there late, but just fell short. And then Whelan, who was leading late, crashed it away, tried to close it back down again. He'll end up 4th, though. And Nathan Prynne, he didn't cross the finish line. Nathan Prynne did not cross the finish line, and here comes... Oh, Prynne got over backwards. He's got to be careful not to hit Braden Carter, though. And Carter will indeed come across the line 6th. 7th will be Luke Magnetti. A great ride for him. He'll be pretty stoked about that, no doubt. Oh, look at Johnson driving it in around the outside. Eaglin shuts the door. Who's it going to be? Johnson, one last-ditch effort in the final corner. Eaglin just beats him over the line by 1/10 of a second for 8th. Woo! That was a close one coming down to the end there. Payson Johnson throwing caution to the wind with a turn to go. That still could come down to cuts, though. We never know. So Daniel Mills, looks like he'll wrap up 10th. Benjamin Saves, should be 11th here, and he will. Ooh, Trent Adams was down, but also going down, Trent Shepard. So Adams gets up behind Cavacuti. Ethan Gerst also got by, so Gerst is going to cross the line 12th. Cavacuti comes across the line 13th. Trent Adams 14th. And Trent Shepard will be 15th. So everybody trying to get sorted here. Luke Sullivan ends up 16th, 17th. Looks like it's going to be Zoa Cross on the 56 MXSoccer.com ride. 18th, his teammate, Chase Donovan on the 29. And 19th, the last man on the lead lap, Takatoji number 84 of Alex Kerr. So 20th in the final points paying position. He was the first man to lap down. It was Quentin McDaniel. Charles Gable just missed out, 2.8 seconds down at the end of scoring a point. 21st position always sucks in a moto because just ran your butt off for 30 minutes and you still didn't get a point. Got Julian Bomer, Chris Post, Jonathan Alexander, Daniel Paz, Rasmus Eriksson, George Knight, Daniel Irvine, Tyson Parliament, Dylan Love, Joe Wagner, Johnny Mayo, JT George, Cale Braden, Ethan Holland, Trevor Schaefer. That was the order of everybody that finished outside of the points. We're waiting on Kerr to cross the line. Here he comes in 19th. Let's look at cuts. Anything change? Wow, surprisingly no. The cuts didn't change anything. Definitely people had some cuts. It wasn't like there was no cuts to be spoken of. In fact, Nathan Prynne had 2 seconds of cuts. Payson Johnson had 2.49 seconds of cuts, so that battle down to the line anyway probably didn't matter because had he passed Eaglin there in that last turn, that last ditch effort, his cuts would have put him back behind him again. All right, folks, now we have a 5-minute break, and this is where I just kind of open it up to the chat. If you guys have any questions you would like to ask me, Kellen Brauer, or any questions you have about the game or anything that you have about life or anything in general, I'm happy to answer them. And we just kind of hang out and bro down a little bit for 5 minutes while they re-rack them and stack them for Moto 2. Hope everybody's having a lovely night wherever you are on this planet. Hi, Kyler. What is going on over here? This is a mad dash. Oh, that was an RKO out of nowhere. Who was that? Somebody just absolutely sent it across the track and just murdered somebody. I don't know who that was. Who's over there right now? That was Quentin McDaniel sent it across the track and man, Brick just killed a man. Who was that? Who did he hit? It's 111, I thought. Yeah, Ethan Holland. Jeez. All right, what do we got going on in chat? People are asking questions. What are you playing on? This is a PC-only game, MX Simulator. Evan McLeod wants to know, Kellen, what's the word today? The bird is the word. Bird's a word. Yes, I'm very excited for WW. First round of the Ride365.com Pro Motocross Championship starts tomorrow night at WW Ranch. So all your heavy hitters will be there. Same time, same place here again tomorrow night. Won't want to miss any of that action. We're racing outdoors, people. Get excited for it. Carl Brown wants to know, is Supercross 3 worth it? Personally speaking, I am a fan of motocross. I like motocross. I like dirt bikes. So I think any game that has motocross and dirt bikes in it is worth it to me. I think Supercross 3 is a perfectly fine game. It has its shortcomings, as do Sim and MX Bikes and All Out and MXGP 2019. Like, they all have problems with them that, you know, need some fixing probably, but I think it's still a fine game. I think you'll have fun with it, and it's a nice kind of new age, fun, challenging game, I think, in my opinion. Everybody's going to probably flame me, though. Ops on the 7 Deuce Deuce takeout in his teammate the other night. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Kind of interesting to see that. Kellen, you should do a 2020 updated setup video. You know what? I probably will do that sometime soon. I need to start making tutorial videos here pretty quick. Jack Fowler wants to know, what would you say to a young marketing major / avid rider who wants to work for RacerX? So, the best advice I have for people that are wanting to get in the industry, like, I got really lucky to get the job I did at RacerX. Like, I can't stress that enough. It was just right time, right place. I didn't even really know the right people. It's just I never really gave up. I always wanted to work in the industry, so I kept trying, and I worked my butt off on something else to make a name for myself. So I liked video games. I didn't feel like the video game market was covered a lot or enough, I would say. And because of that, I just did everything I could to pump out videos and news and information about all these video games that we love to play, and content and broadcast and things like that. And eventually it built myself up, so it gave myself a little bit more of a name, so people knew who I was, and I wasn't just some no-name journalist kid idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about. And because of that, and because of my connections, and because I got my name out there, I was able to meet certain people that I probably would have never met, and eventually land a job. So my advice is, whatever it is that you're super interested in the sport, if you want to work for RacerX, for example, if you're super interested in one part of the sport, and obviously you're talking about marketing, you know, try to figure out a way to market stuff. Even work for a company that, you know, is an industry company, like a parts company, a gear company, whatever. Market for them, give them marketing tools, build your portfolio, get your name out there, make connections. Like, you just have to kind of do a lot of groundwork and almost work for free, the same way that Mathis always talks about mechanics working for free. And eventually, I'm not saying it will work, but this is how it worked for me, where it was just, I knew enough people, I got the right opportunities, and before you know it, I landed a job in the industry. So that's my advice. Hopefully that makes enough sense. Let's see, what else did I miss? What are my thoughts on All Out? Good game, kind of fun, crazy, you know, it's arcade games, so whatever. Ozzy Cormick says hi from Zimbabwe. Hello, Ozzy. Let's see. Do you reckon there would be a championship that could happen in MX Race TV on Xbox and PS4? I think there already are. There's quite a few different championships that happen in console games. I know that for sure there's a PC championship on All Out. I just don't know. I can't point you in the right direction of a console championship for All Out, but I know that some run it. Let's see. Lost my drive loading into the first moto count. Aw, bummer, Cyanide. Who do you think could win the MXGP class tonight? Leclerc, Haley, Holm, all good picks for sure. Who is better, Stefan Everts or Ricky Carmichael? God, never-ending battle. I believe, technically speaking, Stefan Everts was a better rider. I think he had more talent and ability in him. But I don't think that we ever saw that he could be as good as Carmichael, because the competition that he went up against, while good during his time at the top of the GPs, he didn't really take on elite level talent in a lot of seasons. So I would pick Carmichael just because he beat the elite at the elite level. Everts beat Tortelli and Pichon and Steve Ramon and Marnique Bavorts and Yves Demarier and people like that, and he was really good, but I don't think any of those guys stack up to James Stewart, Kevin Windham, these guys that were incredible. So anyway, sorry I didn't get to every question, but we are already back, ready to go racing here for race number 2 of the MX2 division in Argentina. Let's get that board turned sideways, get those revs up. It's time to go racing once again in the MX2 class. Looks like Saves got to the corner first, but he will not pick up the Racetech.com Whole Shot Award. It is Bryce Whelan on the 313 with the Whole Shot Award, and it will be Benjamin Saves following it through in second place. Kevin Gonzalez right there in third, so another good start for him. Lewis Williams with a good start here in this moto. Daniel Mills up there, Chase Donovan. Oh my goodness, frantic action. Look at how close everybody still is in just like 3 corners in. Everybody does the same exact things. Oh, big crash out front, and Whelan goes down with saves. They connected with each other, and both went down. That hands Daniel Mills the lead. I see Nathan Prynn trying to get there. That's Braden Carter far left. And about 8 dudes in the air at one time trying to go for the lead here on the first lap. It will be Carter that settles into the spot, and Prynn trying to make the move on Mills. Has to fall behind him, and he actually tucks the front wheel and goes down, so Mills gets second to himself. And here comes Lewis Williams trying to get back into the mix. There is still Gonzalez on the 3 right there. Who's that, Donovan perhaps? No, it is Donovan on the 29. He just moved into 4th because Gonzalez made a mistake. Wow-wee, frantic action, and Braden Carter out front. So Braden Carter on the number 18 QM1 ride leads the way from Daniel Mills. Lewis Williams with a good start here in this moto as well. Chase Donovan at the front of the field, so he'll be excited about that start. But Carter definitely going to be thrilled with this one after 6th in the first moto on a brand new team. Gets a whole shot this time out. Well, not a whole shot, but going to lead the first lap. Was 3rd. Got around Whelan and saves when they went down together. And leads the first lap. It's still Daniel Mills and Lewis Williams right behind him. Then Chase Donovan comes through with Kevin Gonzalez hot on his heels. Isaiah Dickerson in a good spot early on. Magnetti, Alexander, Shepard, Bomer, Whelan, Eagland, and then your Moto number 1 winner, Tyler Lang. Pretty much same exact spot he was last time, just outside of the top 10 early on, and eventually fought his way forward to win that first moto. So let's see if he has another one of those efforts in him. Of course, he has to go through his teammate Dickerson like he did the first moto. Oh, nasty whip out of Colby Eagland. Dang, that was a big one for the 57. And these guys all funneling in. Teammates. You see the Panini Motorsports teammates in the yellow jerseys there. They are sandwiching with the other teammate trio right here of Carter, who went down, Alexander and Shepard. They are sandwiching Julian Bomer there on the 299, and Bomer blows the rut. So a couple guys going to probably go down the inside of him there. And yeah, actually it was the Panini Motorsports duo that did it, but it's Daniel Mills to the lead. And Lewis Williams giving him a bit of a fit out front, not letting the 44 machine get away just yet. Eventually, someday, some year, the Jack Daniels Racing team will release their skins. Hopefully it's before tomorrow night when the first round of Nationals happens. But still haven't had Daniel Mills skins this entire time, and we won't have Jack Haley skins the next moto, so solid stuff. Close battle here, though. Williams falling to the clutches just a little bit here of Gonzalez and Donovan. Ooh, mistake from Gonzalez. Donovan goes through. Dickerson peeks down the inside and makes that pass as well. Nicely done. So Magnetti coming across the line behind them. You can still see Braden Carter, who had lost the lead, and stuck there in the first corner is Lewis Williams, and literally this entire freight train of riders is trying to go around him. Oh, Carter almost down again in the background. Still a 6-rider train off the front, though. Daniel Mills has opened up a small gap on the rest of them, though, and Donovan moved into second with that fall from Gonzalez, and here comes Dickerson trying to make the move into second. Probably has someone telling him that Lang has gone way back there in the early runnings, and oh, Donovan went down and clipped. Who was that off the side of the track there? Lewis Williams, but Williams saved it, and there is Lang jumping through the middle of the Panini Motorsports teammates. Nice move. Carter got down the inside of Williams. So there's Shepard, and here is Lang with those Panini Motorsports teammates hot on his heels. It's Whelan and Eagland right behind him. And that's not Prynn back there, is it? No, it's Tyron Tomic. Changes gear to some red stuff this moto. So no sign of Nathan Prynn, who finished 5th in our first moto here. Whoa, stack up. Oh, Dickerson. Is Dickerson down? Oh my goodness, there's like 5 guys side by side. There's nearly 5 wide in that corner. Dickerson now behind Tyler Lang, but I don't think anybody's about to make it through this clean. Somebody's going to go down here. Oh my, Triley's almost as they scrub side by side, and then a huge scrub from Payson Johnson trying to hold off Lewis Williams down the inside. He gets blocked. Braden Carter gets blocked by Payson Johnson as well, but he's able to get by. Tyler Lang is trying to come in. We got Dickerson in the mix as well. Oh, and then a crash there from Gonzalez. I think Carter just went down as well, as everybody's funneling around them. And I think Dickerson may have got hung up a little bit in that corner, so everybody just kind of swung through that mess. And Lang, the benefactor of all benefactors, doesn't go down in that melee. So he stays up ahead of this group. So now it's Mills leading from Magnetti as he moves into second. Trent Shepard now finds himself up in third. Colby Eagland is fourth, and teammate Whelan right there in fifth. Lewis Williams running in sixth, but Tyler Lang trying to get alongside of him. See if Lang has an inside option down into this corner. He's going to try this inside rut. Just doesn't get it to stick and loses traction, so he's going to get swarmed here as through goes Tomich, through goes Payson Johnson, and down the inside comes Cavacuti on the 177 trying to make a move, but Johnson shuts the door on Tyler Lang trying to hold him at bay, and Lang goes down! Tyler Lang goes down. Our Moto 1 winner is on the ground, and he is getting passed by a lot of people right now, including his teammate Dickerson, who just went by there, and a lot of other guys getting into the mix here. This is insane, this battle from like 5th on back to about 20th or so. There's so many guys mixed in this group. No breathing room whatsoever, and a lot of different lines having to be taken right now. Ooh, Ethan Gerst shoves a wheel in there on Cale Braden. Looks like Carter just jumped back the inside of Gable. Cale Braden shoving Gerst out of the rut. That's going to allow Dickerson to pull alongside. It's a battle of the 260s down the back straightaway here. Tyler Lang coming into the mix, and Dickerson trying to have an inside move, but it's going to be, oh my goodness, how did they both stay on the track? That was insane. Ethan Gerst throwing it down the inside of Cale Braden. He stays on the track. Tyler Lang punts Dickerson out of the way, and that's going to cost Dickerson, wow, a lot of spots. Did he go down? Wow, he did go down. Oh my gosh, he lost so many spots. He lost about 10 spots there in that one fall, and it's all at the hands of his teammate Tyler Lang, who came down the inside and gave him a nudge. And it's still frantic action in here. We found Nathan Prynn. He's a little further back as Cale Braden slides out. There goes Prynn on by. He just moved around Donovan. So, whew, Gonzalez ahead of that. Here's Luke Sullivan on the 11 with Gonzalez. And Tyler Lang now has a little bit of breathing room, but he still has to get around Ethan Gerst. Charles Gable is just up the road of him. Tyler Lang trying to make a move. Ooh, Gerst shuts the door. I have no idea what to watch right now because any one of these positions could be a great battle. I know we still have Daniel Mills leading out front, holding down a 6-second lead over Eagland, but just so much stuff going on further down the field right now. It's tough to miss it. Lang trying to get the move done on Gerst. Wow, threw it down the inside, and Gerst had to back out of the challenge, but now he's not backing out of the challenge whatsoever. He finally lets it off and lets Lang go by. Oh, and his teammate, no, I'm sorry, not his teammate. Sullivan almost jumped onto his back, and there's also, oh, Sullivan makes the move. Here comes, oh, the Gonzalez gets into him, and they both go down. Nathan Prynn takes full advantage of that, picking different lines than people ahead of him to make some passes. Isaiah Dickerson down in 22nd. Oh my goodness, how things have come unraveled for the 260 machine. So Lang now trying to go to work on Charles Gable. Got a nice battle going on up the road with Tyron Tomich, Braden Carter, and Luke Magnetti in a bit of a freight train here, and they're trying to run down, is that Cavacuti up the road? It is. Dylan Cavacuti on the 177's in a good spot early on. Lewis Williams, Payson Johnson, Bryce Whelan, Trent Shepard, Colby Eagland, and Daniel Mills continuing to lead the race, creeping up on 10 minutes into MX2 Race 2 here in Argentina. So once again, just like every week in this class, overalls kind of in every different location you can think of. I have no idea what the overalls are right now as they run. Cavacuti has Braden Carter closing up on him. Tomich going to get maybe passed by Magnetti. No, holds it on the inside, gets it done. Ooh, filthy scrub from Carter to get that pass done on Cavacuti. Does a little bike hump. Not sure if that was an excitement bike hump or a sorry I just jumped in front of you bike hump, but either way, gets a pass done on Cavacuti, and no harm, no foul because they both stayed up. So next target for him would be Lewis Williams. And Williams goes down, so that's easy pickings right there. Cavacuti makes the move as well. Ooh, right in that nose in there. Tomic still in a good spot. Magnetti's right here. Jake Hubbard. And then Tyler Lang. Let's do a lap time check because I want to see what's going on here. 45.9, Tyler Lang. Running faster than everybody ahead of him up to Trent Shepard in 6th, who did a 45.8. 44.3, Braden Carter on the move. Running down Wheelan. Payson Johnson has a 43.6 and a 44.3 going right now, so he seems to be the fastest rider on the track, as Daniel Mills out front just made a big mistake. Did a 46.6 last time by. 46.4 is his best. There's Eagland once again. Payson Johnson coming through the mix here. Bryce Wheelan, then Braden Carter back in 5th. Trent Shepard, his teammates in 6th. Cavacuti 7th. Tomic 8th. 9th Magnetti. 10th Williams. And side by side for 11th is Tyler Lang and Jacob Hubbard. Lang is going to shut the door and get that spot. Next up, trying to get around Lewis Williams. Ooh, no, he makes a mistake, and Hubbard almost got back alongside of him, but Lang controls the inside there. So Ken Lang dices his way through the field enough with that first moto win to perhaps capture the overall victory today. Man, this battle is insane though. Look at how close these guys all still are, including off the front here. Shepard, Cavacuti, and Tomic, 3-rider train into this back section. Very, very close between them. Then you go back to Wheelan, who's not too far off of them, and he's leading Magnetti, Williams, Lang, Hubbard, and Sullivan, that are all still in a freight train in their own right. Look at how you can see on the map on the right-hand side of your screen how close this little battle is here. Kind of nose-to-tail freight train, pretty much all the way up to 3rd at this point. This 3rd place isn't terribly far ahead of them, and the leader is just going up the hill at the end of the wave section anyway. So honestly, any one of these guys has a shot at it. Lewis Williams, Tyler Lang, Kevin Gonzalez, all mixed in here. Looks like Lang may have lost a couple of spots. He's trying to get back around Williams. Ooh, rider down. Magnetti? Magnetti down. 107. Hits the deck. 7th in Moto 1. Oh, Lang down. He's still up, though. Tyler Lang had hit the deck, but bounced up immediately. So he'll be fortunate there that he did not fall off the bike. Ooh, Cavacuti jams on the brakes just to not hit Gonzalez and loses 2 spots in the process. Lewis Williams, Luke Sullivan. Ooh, mistake for Tomic over the finish line jump, but that's going to allow that entire freight train to close up a little bit onto the rider out of Australia on the 311. Bryce Wheelan peeks inside of Hubbard, gets it done. I'm sorry, Shepard, not Hubbard. So many Erds. But he gets around Trent Shepard, continues on his merry way. Payson Johnson just up the road of him. Braden Carter's got around Payson Johnson, though. Colby Eagland is still 2nd, and Daniel Mills, oh, he's down with a lapped rider. Down with a lapped rider, and he's trying to get going. Daniel Mills gives up the lead. Colby Eaglin, new leader, Argentina, halfway through of the second moto here in the MX2 class. Mills going to be kicking himself there, but I guess probably had nowhere to go. It looked like they either made contact in the air or he landed on him or something. Not sure what happened there. But Mills had a sizable lead going, and it just fell apart halfway into this race. Now he's going to deal with pressure from Braden Carter and Payson Johnson, who are two of the fastest guys on the track, but Johnson just went down. So there goes Cavacuti. And next up, there goes, that would be Bryce Whelan, and then is that Shepard? Yeah, Trent Shepard just went by. Oh, Johnson down again. Scrubbed the double too hard. Thinking a little bit too much about it now. So there goes, I believe that's Hubbard that just went by. There's Sullivan, there's Williams, there's Lang, there's Gonzalez. So many positions lost in just one fall. And that's how close everybody still is. I mean, 16 minutes in it, and these guys have been battling all moto long. Gonzalez peeks inside of Lang, backs out of the challenge. Lang in his own right trying to go after Williams just ahead of him. So many guys in the air at the same time over the finish line jumping. Lang peeks inside of Williams. Let's see if Williams... Oh, Williams cuts back underneath. What a beautiful move out of the 193. Lang's not going to be happy about that, but I mean, he got just completely squared up there, and nothing you can do about it. Oh, rider down. I think that was Hubbard, left side of the track. I think everybody missed him, though. And Lang scrubs hard. Williams, oh, lands on the nose and knifes left. And, oh, he's going to go down as well. So he flips into the bottom of our screen there, so it allows Gonzalez to go through, as does Johnson. Look at Johnson inside line here, trying to double into the rollers, but he doesn't get it out of the inside. That's going to cost us some time. Gonzalez trying to get a drive to get back around Lang. Just lost a little bit of time there. Lang carried some more speed through that turn. Up to the top hill of the hill they go here. Ooh, that was a big mistake there for Gonzalez, but he looks like he stayed up. All right, let's do a little bit of a reset here because things have been crazy. 18 minutes in, checking on the lap number 11. Let's do a top 20 rundown. This will be brought to you by the folks at RaceFactorGaming.com. Head over to RaceFactorGaming.com today to get yourself dialed in. They will set you up with a license, and then you will either race novice for free or pay for an amateur series if you haven't already signed up before. If you have, you can race any of these pro series that they have in the NA or the EU region. I know they had an AU for Australia region at one point, but I think that went away. And yeah, national start tomorrow night, so get hyped up. RaceFactorGaming.com bringing you the action. 10-round, I believe, or 11-round national championship coming your way. So get excited, WW Ranch tomorrow night. But they bring you this top 20 rundown, which is currently the man leading this race, Colby Eaglin, Panini Motorsports, number 57. Not sure the overalls right now. They're so all over the place that I'm not entirely sure. He may be looking at either a podium or maybe even a win, depending on where Lang ends up. But Eaglin definitely in good shape right now at the front of the field and probably loving the feeling of being out front once again. Braden Carter, new team this week. Same number, 18, but pretty much the same speed as well. He's running second right now. He won the first moto at Valkenswaard last week, trying to pick up where he left off on the Panini Motorsports team last week with this QM1 Yamaha ride this week, and maybe even win a moto in back-to-back weeks on different bikes. That'd be insane. Trying to get it done here late in Moto 2. Bryce Whelan has moved up to third. Panini Motorsports number 313, so I think Panini is going to be pretty happy even though they lost Carter. They are sandwiching him for first and third right now. I'm sure they'd like to be first and second, or they could be 1, 2, 3 if Carter was still on the team. It is what it is, though. And their man right now, Whelan, holds down third. In fact, Whelan may be in it with a shot at this overall because he was third in the first moto. We'll have to see how they all shake out, but this is going to be absolutely insane. So Trent Shepard's trying to put the 174 lap down right now. Shepard is in fourth, QM1, so it's a literally Panini QM1, Panini QM1 top 4 right now. But Shepard doing a nice job. Fifth is Daniel Mills. He was leading, landed on a lapped rider, dropped several positions. He's now fifth, but he's trying to hold on for Jack Daniels Racing on the 44. 6th place, another QM1 rider. They're having a great moto all around. Number 11, Luke Sullivan. Not the top QM1 rider, but still picking up some really good points. And after the first moto he had, he'll probably be excited about this one nonetheless. But he is dealing with some pressure from current points leader and 7th place man on the racetrack. The MV Films number 49 of Tyler Lang giving him some pressure. We'll come back to this battle in just a second. Payson Johnson on the privateer. Number 351 runs in 8th. 9th is Cavacuti, Dylan Cavacuti, that is, on the 177 Takatoji Yamaha. And 10th goes to our privateer effort out here, Charles Gable on the number 92. Nicely done, has been top 10 this whole moto and still sticking there. Tyron Tomic on the CB number 311 is in 11th. 12th for Dickerson, so nice recovery ride thus far up to P11, or P12 I should say, for Dickerson on the 260. Here's Kevin Gonzalez, Takatoji number 3. He's dropped back to 13th. He's ahead of Magnetti, who's 14th. Daniel Paz is 15th. Lewis Williams was 16th, but that's going to go to Jacob Hubbard now on the 75. 17th, Nathan Prin. His roller coaster season continues. He had a good first moto here. Bad second moto right now. 18th is now Lewis Williams. 19th is Zoa Cross. And 20th, Quentin McDaniel. A lot of QM1 riders in the top 20, so I think that they'll be pretty stoked by the end of this one. Back out front, still Eaglin though. "22 minutes coming up, 8 minutes, and 2 laps remain in this moto. I'll tell you what, Braden Carter I think is maybe reeling him in a little bit here. 3.1 seconds is the gap. 46.8 to a 47.9 last time by, and it just dropped under 3 seconds. In fact, it's now down almost 2 seconds. This is going to be on for the lead again, folks. Braden Carter trying to slice and dice his way to the front. Maybe, just maybe, he pulls another moto win out of his hat here. For all the speed and moto wins that he's picking up though, or potential moto wins I should say, not looking too fresh in the championship just yet. Jeez, that jump is huge and they carry so much speed into it. 1.7 seconds, that gap is coming down and coming down in a hurry. Some lap traffic now in front of Eaglin there as they go over the rollers. Carter a little short on that double. Stays kind of low entry and then really gets on the brakes hard there. Carries so much speed around the outside there. 1.4 seconds. His gap still continuing to come down. Oh, he is right on him now. Almost nothing in it. Just a lapped rider between them, but they split that. 0.6 in between them now as they cross the line. 49.4 to a 46.7. Braden Carter on the move here in Argentina, trying to make the move on Colby Eaglin for the lead of the race. Will it be for the overall? We're not sure yet, but Carter sneaks down the inside. He's going to be almost bar to bar with them as they go. Oh my goodness, they both scrub so hard. And then huge dualies. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I almost feel like I need to go take a shot because that one was so huge. Carter, just a normal standard big whip. Really nicely done. Gets the pass done. But Colby Eaglin was backwards with an oppo whip. That was insane out of the 57. I like when people, even when they're battling for the lead, still like to throw some style, and that was awesome to see a battle for the lead throw some big dualies like that. Respect to both of these men. And Braden Carter takes full advantage of it to go to the lead of the race. Can Eaglin fight back, though, is the question. Nice scrub there for Carter. Rider getting out of the way there. I think that was 3:15. Couldn't quite see the number. It might have been Chris Post. So Carter leads. Eaglin is now second. Payson Johnson is third, but they are a ways back from that lead group right now. Trent Shepard is fourth. Bryce Whelan is fifth. So Payson Johnson, good turnaround moto. Well, good turnaround so far because he crashed a lot not too long ago. And to find himself back up in third, he'll be pretty stoked about that. Looks like Shepard just had a small mistake, and it's going to allow Whelan back by. Here comes Daniel Mills into the mix. Luke Sullivan trying to follow suit. Freight train coming to the finish line jump right now. 3 riders in the air at the same time. Down past the mechanics area they go. 26 minutes about to eclipse on the clock, so we're looking at 4 minutes and 2 laps left in this moto. And that is some lap traffic they're getting around on the inside there. That actually looks like Johnny Mayo again on the 139 from that consolation race. Shepard landing a little long, and Mills might have a drive alongside of him, but Shepard shuts the door. Kind of all funneled to the same line here in this corner. And then same again here. And I'm guessing same again here. Indeed, they will. It's obviously a fast line around the track, and unlike tomorrow night's action, actually, I don't know if tomorrow night's action is, I don't think it is time qualifying. Anyway, unlike Supercross, these guys don't get the track an hour beforehand, have to learn it, and then go race it. They've had it for a couple days, gotten used to it, they know it, feel good about it. So they have figured out what are the optimal lines around this racetrack. And at least for these guys, they are all similar in their mindset about which that optimal line is. And kind of, I don't know about unfortunately, but just the way that this game works, the track deformation gets worse and worse, or deeper and deeper, I should say, wherever people are riding over it. And usually that means that the ruts themselves actually get better because they get deeper, they get a little bit more, kind of lay into-able, if that's even a word. And if you've practiced for 3 days on a track by yourself and you don't know what these main lines are that everybody seems to be taking, you're going to be kind of blown away when you come to the race and realize that the lines you were comfortable with are not the same lines that everybody else was doing. So you're either going to spend the whole moto trying to develop the lines you're comfortable with, or you're going to try to have to learn and adapt and do all these lines that everybody else has been doing. So in that sense, it does suck a little bit because you end up kind of doing these same exact lines that everybody else is doing, just so that you can be consistently as fast as they are. But that's the name of the game these days. Shepard giving a little bit of pressure here to Mills, but nothing really doing there just yet. Ooh, Carter was just down. He just picked himself back up as Eagland gets into the mix here. And do we have a battle on our hands? Can Eagland make things interesting down the stretch? He was pretty much just flat out caught by Carter. So right now, oh, that's not good. Oh man, he just blew that corner big time, and Eagland's just trying to keep it close. Getting an update in chat that sounds like Braden Carter may have this overall if he stays where he is. Of course, a lot of this depends on where Tyler Lane gets to. Teammate of Carter's is down. He's just getting back up. 89 pulls off to the inside, lets his teammate go, and we've lost Eagland a little bit. He lost some time there in the final corner. Not sure what happened. Suddenly 4 seconds down, though. Stays low, nicely done. Oh, look at this. Bryce Whelan's moved back into third. So he is definitely hovering around, if not a podium, a win. Because this is a 3-3 performance. And again, I'm trying to remember. I think Carter's 6-1 right now. So if Lane goes 1-5, he wins the overall. But Whelan on a 3-3, trying to get into the mix. Maybe a second here. I know Eagland's in second right now. But I think Eagland, wasn't he 7th in the last motor or something like that? He's a little further down. Mason Johnson did lose that third spot, though, to Whelan. He has to go back to work. Trent Shepard still mixing it up in 5th. And his teammate Luke Sullivan just trying to follow him through. Oh, there goes Shepard. stuck the front wheel, looks like, on corner entry, and was fortunate to stay up there, but lost some time. Tyler Lang is not too far back, but he is 7th, which again means that he will not beat Braden Carter for the overall here today, which will be the first time this year that Tyler Lang will not pick up the overall win in 3 GPs. He won the first 2. It's not over yet, though, but we are past the 30-minute mark, so a 2-lap board will have already come out for your race leader Carter, and Eagland was just down again. But Whelan, I mean, they are so far out in front. It was really going to be just between the 2 of them, but now at this point, top 2 are pretty much solidified in their current order, unless more crashes happen out of Eagland, and Whelan going to have to try to settle 3rd between himself and Payson Johnson. So Ken Payson Johnson on the 351, close down on Whelan on the 313. Getting to the late stages of this race. Looking at white flag coming out next time by. Tell you what, Payson Johnson, he has got the bit between his teeth. He would love to come up here and make this move on Whelan at all costs. Scrubbing everything in sight. It's definitely getting closer. Whelan trying to imagine where he will make his pass and try to defend as the white flag waves for your race leader, Braden Carter, out front. But this is the frantic action for 3rd on the racetrack right now. Bryce Whelan versus Payson Johnson. Johnson's going to go outside to in and still end up in the same ruts, basically, as Whelan. It's a mad dash, and white flag about to be waving, so it's basically a qualifying lap at this point. Whelan's going to try his best to hold Johnson behind him. Johnson's going to do everything he can to get around him. Ooh, a big kick there for Johnson. Not going to get the apex through this first corner that he wanted, and because of that, he'll lose some time. Ryder down, fortunately just out of the main line for these guys. So Whelan gets a bit of breathing room. Further back, it's still Sullivan, Shepard, and then Lang, so definitely looking like Lang's GP win streak is over. He'd have to get up to 5th to win this thing. Through the waves we go one more time. Johnson down at the end of the waves. Big old kick, and he swapped sideways. Does he get up in front of Sullivan still? Well, Sullivan's just going to get there as they hit the table, and Johnson down the backside of it. Man, that was a big one. Meanwhile, though, up front and potentially about to claim this Grand Prix win with 6-1 scores. I told you it was all over the place, but man, oh man, look at him getting it done here. 2 corners left to go. Braden Carter, at the very least, is going to come down, and Moto 2 in Argentina belongs to the QM1 ride of Braden Carter as he crosses the checkered flag out front. Will it be enough for the overall? It's going to be so close. Again, I'm going to have to see overall scores at the end of this to really decipher it, but it's going to be Eagland 2nd, Whelan coming down here. Looks like he is going to go 3-3, so that should be good enough for a podium. It doesn't beat the 6-1, though. That was just laid down by Carter. It is 1 point shy of that, actually. So Whelan crosses the line 3rd. Payson Johnson, good recovery moto. Oh, man, maybe going to get past here. He's got to keep it close here. He's cut the track in the first moto, so it's going to be 0.2 at the line. Sullivan crosses behind him, and Shepard's going to come around here to get 6th. So Tyler Lang comes across in 7th. He has not won this Grand Prix for sure. And he's mad. He is out of here, folks. Disconnected before even landing. Daniel Mills Crosses the line 8th. Luke Magnetti, nice job to recover here. 2 top 10 scores for the 107. He'll be happy with that. Tyron Tomic ends up in 10th at the end of this one. So good ride for the 311. Here comes Dylan Cavacuti working his way through. Isaiah Dickerson will follow him home in 12th. Behind that, Kevin Gonzalez looks like he's going to end up 13th. Charles Gable will pick up 14th. Zoe Cross will be 15th. 16th will be Daniel Paz by the looks of it. And the last rider on the lead lap, another rough moto. He's had 2 rough motos from 6. He's finished top 5 in every other moto except the second moto at Matterley Basin and the second moto here where he will cross the line 17th. So at least he scored points, but Nathan Prin going to be disappointed with that because he was hoping to maybe fight for this championship. Behind that, it was Hubbard, Alexander, and Knight coming across to score the final points paying positions. And looking through the field, looks like cuts didn't change anything. Braden Carter confirmed overall Grand Prix winner of the MX2 division here in Argentina. Well, folks, that does it for the MX2 class, but sit tight. We're going to be right back on the other side of this break with more action here in Argentina. It's the MX1 class coming up next, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Start Your Systems, round 3 of the MXSGP World Championship from Argentina. Hello and welcome back to round 3 of the 2020 MXSGP World Championship. It is the MXSGP of Argentina in Neuquén, Argentina. Today we are going to be racing on this loamy dirt track here for the MX1 division. The MX2 class just ran, but this was the point standings for them entering, in which it was a win on the day for Braden Carter, third in points entering, so he'll move up a little bit further in the standings. Here is the 450 standings, though. These are the guys we're about to watch. Leclerc, 6-point lead on Haley. Adam Holm, a further 15 points back of Haley, so things are getting spread apart in the 450 class quite quickly. Argentina, though, deep, loamy, dark soil track, 1,670 meters in length, a little over a mile in total distance. And we're just about 8 miles away from the Chilean border and about 300 miles away from the actual town of Neuquén in Argentina. But let's take a look at this racetrack here so you guys get a better feel of what we're actually going to be looking at here racing tonight. We've already seen some motos, so if you've just joined us, you're catching in on what's happening actually on the racetrack. But a long pit straight down by where the start area kind of joins turn 1 through the racetech.com whole shot award area, 2 rollers into the next corner, and you see just a long second turn sweeper, just so much speed to be carried around this corner, and then a little floater kind of scrub jump. These guys scrubbing hard on this one to a big double tabletop section in the back, and then a little roller, a little table into the farthest back section of the racetrack. Another long right-handed sweeper, though. Just high-speed racetrack, really just entirely all the way through on this one. Inside, outside option, triple around the outside or on, off to inside roller. Pretty much everybody in the 250 class was tripling outside there, so we'll see where the 450 guys go. And then double your way through the wave section up to the ride365.com table. Get nice and saucy for the crowd there on the hillside to your left. Sharp right-hander into a little double and then a 180 left before you head back up to the highest point of the racetrack. Not too high, but just a little hill here in the middle of the section of the racetrack. Big table down into the valley. Then back up to the top. Everybody swinging to the inside here and hugging this tight inside line by the tree. Then another little scrub single into a big table similar to that section through the first couple of corners that we saw earlier in the lap. A lot of different line options here. A lot of guys going far inside triple or middle rut and then double all the way through to this little roller. And you see guys kind of basically just hook any of these ruts through this long sweeper, downside this big single, and then another double into the back here, and then you kind of hug along this right side of the on-off so that you can get down to the outside and apex this inside rut, and then swing back to the left to the outside here. Switch back there, a lot of inside-outside options kind of in all directions, and then the second last corner is a tight 180, a lot of close action and passing there. Left 90 for the final corner, and that's a lap around here, Neuquén in Argentina. So glad you guys could join us. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer here, bringing you guys the action for the third round of the MXSGP World Championship here tonight. A lot of exciting racing has already commenced in the MX2 division, and now we're just heading into the MX1 class. Again, same format. We're going to have a consolation race to kick things off. They will go 4 laps, 4 riders make it in, and then 2 30-minute plus 2-lap motos with all 40 of our riders who have already qualified into the event, essentially racing. So let's go ahead and pull up qualifying times actually real quick. Let's look at those. Here is the 450 qualifying times, though, here tonight. It was, in fact, Alexis Leclerc, your points leader, the rider out of France, with a 141.6, just barely beating defending champion Adam Holm to the punch on a 141.7. Walter Gebhardt up in the mix, Logan Leitzel, Jeremy Siebold, just to name a few. And then we look down a little bit further in the order. This is where we're going to see these guys in this consolation race. Guys like Jack Fowler, Nick Tomasunis, Ian Holm, Chase Morales, and the rest of everybody that either did or did not set a time will be heading to the consolation race, which we will now jump into the server and take a look at. I'm going to have to reload here, and they may have already started without us, but that's okay. That not waiting for the stream to do the consolation race. You guys are here probably to see the big boys. Let's see, looks like they are already on their way, I believe. So anyway, consolation race currently going off right now, I believe. And it is Braden L with the lead over Ian Holm, Chase Morales, and Zach Fisher in the top 4. Again, 4 riders going through this 4-lap race. Ooh, crash out front. Braden L went down, so Ian Holm assumes the race lead on the number 93. But behind him, though, is Zach Fisher on the 317. Leon Tai now moves up into the 3 spot, and Chase Morales still holding on 4th. Nick Tomasunis coming through the mix as well. Different options again. Like we said, these 450 guys think they may actually start using those insides a little bit more than the 250s we saw, because they can still get the drive from those lines to double through the waves, as down goes Chase Morales on the outside. So that allows Nick Tomasunis up into the final transfer spot, and he is battling it out with Leon Tai. And I feel like I've downloaded the My Tico skins like 4 times, and I don't have them this week, so I'm not sure what happened there. Fortunately, I don't have those skins though. Tomasunis just trying not to run into the back of Leon Tai, who comes to an almost dead stop in the corner there. Again, these guys just trying to make it into the motos. It's not a mad dash per se. They just want to safely get into the motos, especially now that they've put a gap between themselves and the rest of the runners. So Leon Tai trying to run down Zach Fisher. Ian Holm still holds down the race lead. Going to check in on to lap number 3 this time by. There it is. Ian Holm continues to lead the race. Zach Fisher, he'll cross the line second. Leon Tai still right there in third. And Tomasunis is in fourth. Jeremy Gwiazdowski comes across the line fifth, and Frank Raffiani right behind him in sixth. So these are our closest hopefuls to try to catch that 2 group up there ahead, with Tomasunis in fourth. Maybe get up there and spoil the party just a little bit. Oh, Gwiazdowski just went down. So that's not going to be good for him. It leaves Raffiani to try to go after them, and he's going to go down too over the bars. So that just allows Gwiazdowski back through. Here comes Chase Morales. Jake Webb also going by. And Noah Napoli, but he just went down in the waves, as does Jake Webb. Oh, man, what a bummer for some of these guys trying to get in. Chase Morales slides out again. So Leon Tai actually got passed by Tomasunis, but he is still in the final transfer spot. These guys are about 11-ish seconds off the lead right now. Still have about a 5-second gap working to the men behind them, though. Actually, it's coming down, though. Gwiazdowski trying to reel him in. He's playing the slow game here, not trying to rush things, just wants to put in his laps. And if it comes to the end of it, he may push the envelope. Right now, he is just trying to smoothly catch up to the final transfer spot right now, which white flag is waving this time by, so may have to up the intensity just a little bit. 3 seconds down as they're about to come across to take the white flag. You saw Leon Tai disappear up the road. And here is Gwiazdowski in fifth. Can Tai hold it on? Does Tai maybe have it in him to go back after Tomasunis and try to get that spot away from him? Ian Holm and Zach Fisher look to be perfectly safe up the road, though. Oh, and we have lost Jeremy Gwiazdowski. It's now Chase Morales in fifth. So really, Leon Tai just needs to smoothly bring this last lap home, and he will be all gravy. Here's our leader, though, Ian Holm. Kind of abnormal to see someone of Ian Holm's caliber in a consolation race, but I think that's just kind of the nature of the game right now. There's so much time to qualify on these tracks that we're seeing a lot more people actually racing that maybe wouldn't because they put in the time to qualify instead of showing up to do qualifying beforehand. And I think because of that, it turns someone like Ian Holm, who's a pretty good racer, he raced his way into a lot of main events earlier this year, puts him out of the running, and he has to go to these consolation races, but it doesn't look like it's bothering him too much. Oh, actually, he's going to go down with the lead. He should still get up in a transfer spot, but he's going to give it over to Zach Fisher to go home and probably take this win, and Holm will get up still in second. But here it is, Zach Fisher, final couple corners of the Consi. And headed to the main motos for Underground RC is Zach Fisher on the 317. Ian Holm, he'll take it home second. Leon Tai going to make it home in third, and Thomas Sunis trying to hold off a late charge from Chase Morales. He's giving it everything. Oh, and he goes down in the last corner. Thomas Sunis goes through. Jake Webb going to just miss out as well. Chase Morales, oh, he was so close. Curious to see if cuts would have affected that. Gwiazdowski through the final corner. Noah Napoli went for the absolute kill of a lifetime. Didn't get it. He comes across 8th. Frank Raffiani is going to come across 9th. And Braden L., who was up front early but fell, is going to come across 10th, perhaps, although Brady White's trying to claw it away from him, but Brady White hits the deck. Ricky Williams also not going through. Matt Model also going to be headed to the cheap seats. And that was it. Let's see if cuts would have affected it. Thomas Sunis did not have cuts, so it actually wouldn't have changed anything. Our top 4 stayed the same regardless. Fisher, Holm, Ty, and Thomas Sunis headed to the motos tonight. So that is going to do it for the consolation race. Up next, it is going to be MX1 Race 1 here in Neuquén in Argentina. How's everybody doing tonight? We got 130 live viewers. Good to see the turnout continuing on from the 250 class action. We were up to about 150 at one point, but glad to see not many people turned off. Those intermissions are short and brief, just a quick song I put on for you guys. Hopefully nobody got annoyed with the song choice, but glad to see people are still hanging out, and hopefully everybody's having a lovely evening or perhaps even a lovely morning wherever you are in the world right now. And we're going to try to provide some entertainment for you fine people here for the next about hour and a half. Gonna be 450 action coming hot and heavy. Just watching Nick Thomas Sunis just rip around this track. Oh, dirty. Land it. Nah. Kind of was jumping to nowhere anyway. And Leon Ty joining us in chat now. He's excited. He just made his first ever 450 motos, coming home in 3rd in that consolation race. So good to see him making it through. What's up, Reed Plays? How you doing, buddy? I'm seeing you and a couple other people, Evan McLeod, Habo Dude, all talking about getting the game and stuff like that. Habo Dude says his morning is not lovely, but would have been better if he slept. Yeah, I agree with that. I did not get very good sleep last night either, so I'm kind of with you there. I was just randomly woke up at 4 in the morning, and honestly, I'm about a week away from not getting much sleep at all because next Wednesday is supposed to be the due date for my daughter, and I'm sure that she'll be keeping me awake all hours of the night eventually. But that's part of being a parent, I guess. Charlie B. 3:30 a.m. for me. I think my neighbors thought I was having a party. Sorry, I didn't mean to have an absolute rager going on. But, hey, you know, it is what it is. Evan McLeod, I've actually done a couple vlogs before. If you go to our channel right now, or you could also go to startyoursystems.com, and if you look for the playlist SYS Life, that's basically all the vlogs I've done. Like I've done, did a vlog when my wife and I and my buddy Nate went to the 2018 Motocross of Nations. I did a vlog where the same group of people went to Milwaukee together. Did a vlog where I went to Ocotillo Wells and then rode Paula the next day. I did a vlog where I went to Big Bear Snow Summit and did some downhill mountain biking. I think those are all the ones I've done so far. I don't vlog very often because, honestly, I'm not super personable on camera, I would say. Eventually, I'll try to get more personable, I suppose, but we'll see. Who are the greatest motocross riders, including MXGP? Like in real life or in this game? And is that all time or currently, or there's so many qualifiers with that question? Evan McLeod might make nationals. Good to hear it. Give her a rip. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Thanks, Habbo, dude. Appreciate it. Loading in, loading in. Takes forever to load these dudes' skins. Real life all time best riders in MXGP, etc. I think like I always go back to, you have to put like Bob Hanna and Roger DeCoster in the discussion of greatest riders of all time, because they were both dominant like when nobody else was. Like back in the time when like there was Heikki Mikkola, there was Joel Robert. There's so many people that just like would win titles but not be consistent about them. And Roger DeCoster, Bob Hanna were both super consistent at their times. So I would have to pick either one of them coming to the debate for greatest of all time. I think Carmichael is really actually the greatest of all time. I don't think he's the best supercross rider of all time. I still think McGrath is. But in terms of overall scale and all the accomplishments that he did and how much he accomplished in a short period of time, I put Carmichael above Everts, but they're very close together. I think Everts can sneak in there pretty close, and then maybe Roger and then Jeremy somewhere in there. But like Roger DeCoster is super underrated for how much he won and how dominant he was during his days, in my opinion. Alrighty, folks, it's time to get ready. 450 MX1 Race 1 is on the gate, and they are off and running. Just like that, we are racing in Argentina. It's a land rush into the first corner. I thought Fjellberg might get there first. He just doesn't. Instead, it is Jeremy Seabolt. Oh my God, how many times do I have to download the Panini Motorsports packs? Oh my God, I hate it so much. They have 87 packs. I downloaded all 87. Still don't have their skins. Oh my God. Jack Daniels Racing still doesn't have their skins released. But Jack Haley's in second. Third is William St. Laurent. Fourth, Brandon Holmes. Fifth, Jason Stubbs. Chase Blakely in sixth. Dylan Copeland seventh. Look at this land rush of riders through the waves on the first lap. No sign of our points leader Alexis Leclerc or our defending champion Adam Holmes. So not sure, they must have both had some bad starts. We'll keep an eye on them as they work their way through the field. But out front, it is Jeremy Seabolt. So Seabolt's still leading the way. He's got Jack Haley hot on his heels. Oh, St. Laurent trying not to go through the front door there. Brandon Holmes right behind him. Looks like this is the closest battle at the front here. Holmes on St. Laurent, but Holmes just made a small mistake. And now coming into the mix is the 21 of Blakely. And Blakely might have a move down the inside. Just has to back out of the challenge there. Oh, Haley down before the finish. And that's going to allow William St. Laurent to scrub by him and move up into second. So something happened there. Jack Haley must have tucked the front wheel And, oh, where the heck did Seabolt go? Seabolt's gone. Saint Laurent takes the lead. So Saint Laurent actually didn't quite lead the first lap. That was still Haley, but Saint Laurent is now leading this race. Brandon Holmes moves to second, Haley third, and Blakely moves up to fourth. Not sure what happened to Seabolt. Must have crashed off our screen. Still so close though as everybody works their way through this little like mushroom at the top, or top right of your screen, bottom of the racetrack. Oh, Brandon Holmes just barrel rolled through the rollers, but kept it on two wheels, so nicely done there. It is still Saint Laurent out front. Mad Cape 886 trying to hold off the number 6 of Jack Haley. Big race tech table. These 450s have so much power. He's carrying a lot of speed around the racetrack right now, and Haley just trying to do whatever he can to get into the mix here. Chase Blakely is all over him though, just in case something happens. Brandon Holmes still back there. And it looks like another Mad Cape rider. It is. It's Logan Leitzel with a good start here. Dylan Copeland with a good start as well. Still Saint Laurent leading. On to lap number 3 they go, and no sign of our championship leader, Alexis Leclerc, just yet. Oh, Saint Laurent crashes out of the lead. Went a little too deep on the roller there. Must have landed in transition and had an immediate fall off the bike crash. What a bummer. He was looking so strong out front. And it is all gone now. And Haley has taken over the race lead once again. Blakely now moves into second. Brandon Holmes third. Logan Leitzel fourth. Copeland fifth. Peter Leik up in sixth early on. Seventh for Jeremy Cohenauer. And then Caden Speck holding down 8th. 9th is James Cohen. Devin Davis peeking down the inside of him, though, is going to get that spot away. 10th right now, Seth Garrett. 11th for Caleb Hall. 12th for Kyler Hockey. Although not for long as he goes down the inside and gets that spot back. So Caleb Hall drops back to 12th. Dylan Long. Dylan Long in 13th is running Kellen Smells in his name. I like that. I don't think he had a team name before. If he did, it could be wrong. Maybe it was, no, I'm going to be wrong if I guess it. So I forget what his team name was, but that's a funny team name to run, so props, Dylan. Jeremy Seabolt, oh, he was in the lead, and now he's on the ground again, so things unraveling quickly here. There is the defending champion, Adam Holm, going around the outside of him. Where, oh, where is Alexis Leclerc? There he is, coming in just into your frame now. 23rd. So Leclerc has a tall task ahead of him. Not unfamiliar territory. Leclerc has had to work his way from bad starts in the past and has won motos coming from bad starts. Oh my gosh, was that Fernando Andrade? Just had a big one on the 17. Not sure what happened. He like got all out of sorts there and just sent it into that corner. Oh, rider down. That was Seabolt. Seabolt down, and what was that? That was Kyle Carpenter also on the ground. Ooh, trying to shut the door there on Gebhardt. Gebhardt won't like that too much. Curious to see what happens in this next turn. Gebhardt just goes a little bit wider than he really should, but that's what happens when you feel like you've been wronged. So Ethan Parks back here. Let's go back out front. We know where Leclerc is. We know where Holm is. So where are our leaders? It is Haley and Blakely still out front. Lap time check real quick, 44.9 to a 44.4, so Haley has the upper hand at the moment, but Blakely doing what he can to keep tabs on him. Sit on board here with the BPC number 21 for a little bit and see what it looks like from a 450s perspective. I just want to listen to the revs of the bike here, so I'm going to go quiet for a second. Well, besides the almost over the bars excursion there for Chase Blakely, really interesting to see how kind of smooth on the throttle these guys are. This track in real life is very wide open, a lot of just wide open 4th and 5th gear sections of the racetrack. And honestly, these guys, I thought they would be in 4th and 5th gear a little bit more often. Only 4th gear through the sweeper there for Blakely. And to be honest with you, it sounds like he's being really smooth on the throttle. He's not trying to over rev in areas. He's just letting the bike kind of carry speed throughout. And really, really consistent smooth riding out of Blakely. Definitely not what I was kind of expecting on this racetrack, as fast as it is, but I guess that's how these 450 guys have to ride because these bikes have so much power. Blakely tailing Haley though, 2.3 seconds down, 44.3 to a 43.1 out of Haley last time by, so Haley picking up the pace even more. Logan Leitzel has moved up to 3rd on the 76, trying to give chase. Dylan Copeland now finds himself in 4th. And we got a battle here for 5th brewing. Brandon Holmes has Peter Like and Devin Davis caught on his heels. They all kind of throw their respective scrub or whip combination on that big table in the center. Work their way to the top of the hill, tied inside, and then back down the right side of the racetrack to set themselves up better for the next corner. You want to land kind of as wide on this jump as possible. Devin Davis a little bit too wide there, so he doesn't hook that rut that he was looking to get into, but kind of middle right on that landing, so you get that second to the outside rut. And because of that, Davis lost a little bit of ground with Peter Like and has Seth Garrett breathing down his neck. Nine minutes down, 21 minutes, and 2 laps left to go. Jeremy Kohenauer coming into the mix as well, and he's bringing Caden Speck along with. Adam Holm has now fought his way forward, and he is now in 11th, 44.9 last time by, 45.3. He's going to move into 10th, though, because Speck just missed the table. So there it is, up into 10th for your defending champion. And this is big news for him and for Jack Haley, because right now, Alexis Leclerc is still 16th. And has a lot of time to work with. He's not completely out of this thing just yet, and Alexis Leclerc always surprises us with late race charges, but that's not going to help right there. How he stayed up, I will never know. He just absolutely plowed over Robert Wilson like he wasn't even there, and continues on his way. Moves him up to 15th in the process, but he did lose touch with that little group ahead of him, so he's going to have to go back to work on bringing that gap down. All the while, he doesn't want to get passed by Caleb Hall here. Austin Eklund. Kyler Hockey just went off the inside of the track. James Armstrong. Will Whiteley all back here. Robert Wilson, the man who just got literally ran over. Jeremy Siebold, who was leading early in this race. He is outside of the points now, so definitely has fallen apart just a little bit here. Let's go back up and see Holmes charged through the field. Still has Speck right on him. So definitely not out of the woods just yet. And that is Kohenauer. So they actually got around Kohenauer. Oh, Speck just jumps onto Holmes' back there. Caden Speck got a drive of a lifetime. And I don't know, maybe he's trying to quad over the rut or something. But he just went so far on that jump. Landed right on Adam Holmes' back. And now they are going to have to try to regroup and start making some passes on the same people they were just in front of, like Dennis Fjellberg and Dylan Long, who are battling with each other. Two people that are, again, quite literally on the opposite side of the world from each other. Dylan Long, rider out of Australia. Dennis Fjellberg, currently in Norway. So kind of funny how that works out. I'm curious to see if there's any lag issues here, especially for the American riders coming in behind them. This is an American-based server that they're playing on as well. Holm trying to peek down the inside of Fjellberg. If you've ever played this game, you know what lag is like. These guys in front of Holm right now. On my screen, it doesn't appear this way because JLV with warm-up mode has done a really good job of kind of fixing the netcode issues that you see from a spectator's perspective. But to these guys right now, they look like they're kind of jiggling a little bit, just like a little jitter here and there, because they're all three on very different areas of the Earth right now, and the server is on only one area of the Earth compared to these guys. So definitely a lot of kind of load up issues, some ping that might be a little bit higher than usual. I could look if I wanted to. I could open the server chat log and list players, and it would show me everybody's ping, but I just trust that Australia, Norway, and the US riders all have very different pings going on. Good battle nonetheless, though, and Holm, kind of watching him try to recover from that fall, trying to go after my man Dylan Long here. Dylan Long, by the way, those of you who don't know anything about Australian motocross or anything like that, Long is a really damn good rider in Australia, and he has some really funny Instagram videos that he posts as well. He's actually quite popular on Instagram, so I definitely check him out. But he's not only good in real life, he's good on sim, which a lot of people are. It's kind of crazy how good real life riding always transpires over to being pretty good at sim, in my opinion. But Long rips IRL, rips in the game, but he might be getting ripped by Adam Holm, who's trying to peek down the inside by the mechanics area. Not able to get it done just yet. Long is holding the position quite well, but here comes Holm cutting back underneath, and that might be the move right there. Let's see if he scrubs it down. Oh, just over onto the left side of the racetrack, and then whips in his face. Ooh, not a good look there. Dylan Long is going to want to prove himself, so he's going to go back for the full send here and maybe get absolute sauce for us on the table after the rollers. Dylan Long was also the man who, at Matterley Basin, in second in the second moto, front flipped the quad and crashed. So likes to have a good time. I don't mind it. Alexis Leclerc trying to work through the rollers as well, and there is Long getting sauced in front of him. Just so happens that our championship combatants are fighting through the field around the number 117, and there is Leclerc making the move down the inside as he's trying to keep tabs on Adam Holm ahead of him, who of course he would like to beat this year in the World Grand Prix Championship. So Holm's next targets would be Devin Davis, and Peter Light just went down. So Leclerc goes by, Long goes by, Fjellberg goes by, and the number 100 of Seth Garrett also goes by. So Peter Light losing several positions there from one fall. Like I said, Devin Davis just up the road, as is Jeremy Cohenauer. So they're continuing their fight. Brandon Holmes kind of all by himself. Dylan Copeland just ahead of him. Leitzel, ooh, Blakely crossing over on a lapped rider. But it is still Haley leading. Blakely's kept him honest. You got to give credit where credit's due for Blakely, because he's been putting in basically a tenth or two off every lap, and just slowly but surely is watching Haley disappear in front of him. But halfway through this race, you can't say he's out of it by any stretch of the imagination. So keeping this thing well and truly alive, putting in good lap times, and keeping it close. Exactly what you want to do when one of the best riders in the world right now is in front of you. Here's Logan Leitzel. He still holds down third. Then, like I said, Copeland and Holmes, I should say, hold down fourth and fifth. Cohenauer is sixth, and here is Adam Holm moving around Devin Davis and trying to go after Cohenauer. And we've got a rider down at the end of the waves. That's a lapped rider. Holm almost got into the back of Cohenauer, who was trying to avoid that downed rider. And he's trying to come up with a different spot. Excuse me. All right, pardon me for that, folks. But back to this battle here. Looks like Holm is going to make the move on Cohenauer. And Cohenauer in the process made a big mistake in his own right, so Leclerc's trying to swing around the outside of these guys. Has to go to the inside in the next corner and gets the spot on Devin Davis. Davis has to come to a screeching halt there. And next up in Leclerc, in front of Leclerc, I should say, is Cohenauer. And still Holm right in front of him. Again, they're just trying to work their way through the field as fast as possible. And Leclerc almost into the back of Cohenauer there through the first turn. Leclerc's probably got real unique perspective on this racetrack. He rides in so many different RPM ranges. Third gear all the way through here. Fourth, fifth. Lands fifth. Scrubs that super hard. Lands fourth and then up to fifth again. So much different RPM range and gear through here than we saw with Blakely. Blakely was kind of third all the way through. Oh my gosh, that save out of Leclerc. Whew, that one almost came unglued quickly, and Devin Davis is trying to make a move down the inside of Leclerc through the waves. Not going to get there, and Fjellberg on the 55 still lurking behind him. So Leclerc, who was trying to keep tabs on Adam Holm, has lost touch a little bit now after that mistake. And Holm just got around Holmes and is trying to go after Dylan Copeland next. And there is Holm making the pass on Brandon Holmes, putting 2 people between himself and Leclerc. Leclerc trying to get the move done on Kohenauer. Fascinating to watch these guys try to go through the field from bad starts. And Leclerc going to get the pass done on Kohenauer now into the split. Devin Davis still lurking back there. The 37 does a very nice job of getting out of the way. Just kind of let them go by. And Leclerc around the outside gets Brandon Holmes. So now suddenly those 2 riders that were between him and Adam Holm, not there anymore. It's, well, Holmes trying to go down the inside of Copeland here into the first turn. Tries to block the line. Copeland has to swing way outside, but he might have an inside into the next corner. No, Holm jumps into the corner, makes that move stick. And he has now fought his way up into 4th as he continues to try to get away from Alexis Leclerc, who is not too far behind him and doing everything he can to stick with Holm at this point. Oh, around the outside of Copeland. Seriously, at this point, it's like every move Holm makes, Leclerc is just 3 corners behind him doing the same thing. And they are charging through the field, but now they're coming into a bit of a stalemate. Not only do they have some lap traffic to deal with as they're trying to maneuver through the field here, they're in 4th and 5th, and they have a pretty big gap to get to Logan Leitzel. They're basically 2 long straightaways behind him. Gap-wise, they are 20 seconds behind him. That's a pretty steep hill to climb. Not impossible, but we'll see how it kind of plays out here in the last 10 minutes of the moto to see whether they can do something about it. Blakely still, again, just slowly but surely losing time to Haley, who did a 43.7 to a 46.2 out of Blakely last time by. Getting close to that range where it's a full fall-off length crash, which would be about 10 seconds. Not quite there yet, but getting close. And while I have our leaders on screen, let's go ahead and do a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at Underground RC. They're a sponsor indoors. They're going to be a sponsor out, and have a cool little store, I believe, where they have like RC cars and some components and other things like that. So definitely check them out, undergroundrc.com. Jack Haley, Jack Daniels Racing number 6, continuing to lead the way away from Chase Blakely on the BPC number 21. These two have been 1-2 for the last 10 or so minutes, and it's kind of stuck that exact distance this entire time. Logan Leitzel sitting 3rd for Mad Cape on the 76. He'll be racing again the Pro Supercross action coming up this Wednesday evening in Utah, the 6th round in Utah, the 16th round of the championship, and Logan Leitzel will be back racing once again. Here's Adam Holman 4th, the atom.com defending world champion on the number 1, has methodically worked his way up to 4th and may have hit a bit of a wall here. See if he can get any further up in the order, but 4th right now for him. Brandon Holmes is in 5th on the rival decal number 48. He has just been steady Eddie and sitting in this position for most of the race. Real battle going on right now is what's going on behind him. 4 guys at the same time. Devin Davis just clipped Leclerc. I don't know how they both didn't fall. Wow, I'm blown away they both didn't fall right there. But Leclerc stays up, moves around Davis, and so Copeland now sits 6th on the Taggart Designs Factory Racing number 14. Let's pause this top 20 rundown real fast. As Leclerc trying to make a move on Copeland. Nice scrub off the race tech table. Dylan Copeland doing everything he can just to put his bike in a spot where Leclerc can't make the pass on him, but he might be a sitting duck now. Leclerc scrubs down alongside of him, makes the move stick, and there is Leclerc. Oh man, but he just blew the corner bad, and Copeland's going to have the preferred option line through here. He's going to stay low, get the drive down the straightaway, but Leclerc going to hold it on here. He comes through now 6th, so Leclerc, Rockstar Husky, number 7, the red plate holder, moves up into 6th. 7th for Copeland. 8th, Kohenauer on the MV Films number 15. 9th for Devin Davis on the Takatoji number 33. And 10th goes to Seth Garrett on the BlastMX.com number 100. Peter Leicht runs in 11th ahead of James Armstrong. Dennis Fjellberg runs in 12th. I'm sorry, in 13th, I should say. Dylan Long runs in 14th for the Kellen Smells number 117. 15th goes to Austin Eklund on the Odyssey MX number 24. And is this 16th again? Yeah, 16th for Kyler Hockey on the MXS Magazine. What is he on, the number 75? No, 25. Robert Wilson in 17th on the number 69. Nice BPC. Husky trying to hold off Caden Speck on the number 19. Nova GFX. Oh, Doolies. Oh, no, Robert Wilson threw sauce, but Caden Speck went for the Bone Rare Leclerc option. Oh, Wilson throwing it back down the inside, but Speck shuts the door around the outside, and these two continue their battle on as we go further down the field. Jet Wisdom, MXLocker.com, number 79 runs in 19th. And 20th in final points paying position to Kyle Carpenter on the 708 Tiger Designs Ready. As Caleb Hall, Nova GFX on the 53 right behind him, though. And that has been a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at Underground RC. Get all your components needs there today. As we have a change for the lead. Go through the top 20 rundown, and we have a change for the lead. Chase Blakely leads in Argentina. Jack Haley has to go back to work. So we'll see how this all plays out. How did this work out? Oh, Leclerc has got ahead of Holm for 4th. So Leclerc, 44.5, just put in his best lap of the race, and Holm did a 54.7, so he must have went down. And they are 25 seconds back right now of Logan Leitzel, who sits in 3rd. So this is probably going to be it, the battle for 4th here. And I don't want to miss that lead battle, because look at how close it is. 3/10 in it. Haley's right behind Blakely. Two huge battles on the racetrack right now. Oh, Blakely tucked the front end on exit there, and Haley goes right back to the lead. So while we're still talking about it, oh, Leclerc just made a mistake, and Holm goes back by. Leclerc inside trying to get back around him. Know the long history of these two. They had a bitter rivalry come to a head at the end of the 2018 Nationals. So Holm has the upper hand on Leclerc, but can Leclerc fight back? It's really between the two of them. They've got a nice gap going on back to, looks like that's Devin Davis in 6th right now. And obviously they're not really that close to the 3rd place man of Leitzel. Oh, Leclerc almost alongside. Did he go down? No, he stayed up. He stayed up, and Holm holds the position for now. Oh, Leclerc down. Tried to hop a little further in that corner, landed in a hole, and immediately popped up and went down. So Devin Davis is going to get there just in time to almost pass Leclerc. Leclerc goes long on the single, then slides out, and he's sideways in the track as Dylan Copeland goes around him. So Leclerc getting a little bit frenzied there. Maybe perhaps trying not to get taken out by Devin Davis. Launched the single, landed sideways, slid out, and it cost him a couple more positions. Now he has the work all to do again to get around these two and catch back up to Holm, whom he was battling with. Back into the battle for the lead. 4.5 minutes and a couple laps left to go. Does Blakely have another charge in him to get around Haley? Ooh, that's not going to help his case right there. Big stack up in the corner. Haley's pulled it out to 2.5 seconds or so. It's crazy. 2.5 seconds. Like, look at Haley just landing as Blakely takes off. 2.5 seconds in the air, basically. Blakely just trying to keep it close, because if he does, maybe, just maybe, Haley has another moment like he did that cost him the lead in the first place. If he does it late in the race, obviously doesn't have a lot of time left to try to claw it back after Blakely. Or maybe Blakely just so thinks he has a chance to go after him and get him for the win. They have to work their way around a downed rider there. Through the first couple rollers there. Haley not quite hooking that rut as well. Blakely got a little bit cleaner, but then he missed the rut on the inside coming out of the apex. And that may have cost him all the time that he gained by hooking that first rut so well. quietest ride ever right now for Logan Leitzel in third. He is not actually too far off of these guys. Oh, is he going to go down? He's pirouetting and he's down. As I was about to say, he's only about a fall-off crash behind the race lead, and that just came super unglued for him. He still has 30 seconds right now. It's going to be 20 seconds when he gets going over Adam Holm. But yeah, that quiet ride in third just got a lot quieter because he's 20 seconds behind the leaders and 20 seconds ahead of Adam Holm. I mean, literally all by himself right now. But there's worse places to be than third place when you're all by yourself on the racetrack. So I'm sure he's not too bummed about it. Haley just trying to bring this home safely, though. Has a couple close moments there. That rut's getting dug out deep, and Blakely's starting to take some different lines, just trying to kind of smoothen his approach to this end of the race and keep things close with Haley. It is definitely tightening up a little bit. Blakely seems to have used the lappers to his advantage here and has kind of closed this gap back down. Another lapper, that's James Cohen. Kind of unfortunate line there, essentially, but finally gets around. And Haley, I'm telling you what, he looks a little flustered. He looks a little bit wayward there. Back end swinging around on that Honda. And Blakely would love to come in, have a shot at him with a couple laps to go. We're probably about 3 laps from the end. Probably, nah, they're probably not going to get around. It'll be close before 2-lap board is waved. Oh, Blakely down in the sweeper. Laying on the ground, must have got the corner wrong. That might be all she wrote. If I can English. Haley just has to settle into a bit of a pace now and not overthink it too much. Oh, and Blakely, he goes down again! Blakely just went down again! Man, he was so close to battling for the win of this thing, and now he's in danger of potentially losing second in the motos. He just gets going in the waves here. Gonna get passed on the takeoff. That's St. Laurent, who led this moto at one point. He's a lap down now, though. And Thomas Sunis, I believe, that's there on the 507 as Blakely's trying to get going. Look at how much closer Logan Leitzel's gotten, though. It's not really a lonely race anymore for the 76. He has Chase Blakely in his eyesight and is going to want to try to close this thing down as much as possible. Here's Adam Holm just entering the waves. Alexis Leclerc, another 7 or 8 seconds behind him by the looks of it. Devin Davis in 6th. Dennis Fjellberg's clawed his way up to 7th. Jeremy Kohnauer is running 8th. Seth Garrett has moved up to 9th. And James Armstrong is right behind him in 10th. Oh, but they just got together. Armstrong, unfortunate, falls off there. There goes Copeland back through. And is that a lapper? Oh, Copeland just absolutely yard sailed down the inside. And that was a lapper. Not sure who that was, but Dylan Long is going to pick up a couple spots. I think this moves him to 10th. Yeah, he's up into the top 10 now. And Brandon Holmes is hot on his heels. So battles continuing all the way throughout the field. The up front battles maybe stifling a little bit here down the stretch, but these guys still have a lot to fight for. Every point counts in this championship. And it's certainly a lot better to finish 10th than 11th in the championship, or 10th and 11th in a race. So these guys are not one to give an inch as Dylan makes a little mistake there. And, well, which Dylan? Dylan Long makes a little mistake, and Dylan Copeland goes around him. So something happened to Dylan Copeland, not sure where or what, but he was up in the battle going on here with, Fjellberg, Kohnauer, Leclerc, etc. And now he's not, so not sure what happened. Wow, Devin Davis and Alexis Leclerc were just down together. I'm not sure if we missed a takeout attempt or what have you, but Alexis Leclerc just got up and he was behind or in front of Fjellberg. Now he's behind him. So let's see if he can work his way back around. Otherwise, Haley and Holm are both seeing some valuable points earned in this moto. Through the wave section we go. White flag is waving for your race leader. Jack Haley trying to click off another win and click closer to Leclerc in this championship. And given that he was only about 6 points down entering, after this moto is said and done, he actually will have the points lead. But he has to obviously wrap it up in the second moto to really bring this home and still have the championship lead. Fjellberg just throwing big whipper tails up and down all day long. And Leclerc runs into the back of him. Fjellberg had come to a stop. I think that was maybe Siebold he was trying to avoid. So Leclerc is down. He's trying to get going. What is he doing? He's just sitting there. I thought he might be typing in chat. I've seen that happen before. People angry, they type in chat. No idea what Leclerc was just doing, but he gets up behind Devin Davis, and I think maybe these guys got together last time by. Oh, and there is Kohenauer sideways in the track, so another free spot there for Leclerc. And look at Leclerc down the inside of Davis. Davis just holds it on, plows into the back of him, and goes down himself. So clearly there is some tension between Leclerc and Davis, and you just saw firsthand how bad the lag is for Leclerc, because Davis thought he probably was hitting him in the side. Instead, he just kind of hit his rear tire and flipped over on our screen. But I've been there, done that. I've had my share of takeouts with Leclerc, and it definitely looks like he's in a different spot than he ends up being, so know how that feels. But some tension there, no less, and out front, quietly, at the end of this race, he's put it all together, and he's going to bring this one home and maybe have the championship lead after this is over, but it is going to be MX1 Race 1 to Jack Haley. Jack Daniels Racing with a front flip over the finish line jump, so he's stoked there. Chase Blakely looks like he will hold on for second on Leitzel. Adam Holm pretty much all alone in fourth. Dennis Fjellberg is fifth. Leclerc is trying to get up to potentially battle them, but not really coming together. Now Kohenauer and Davis are down again, so Copeland goes by. There goes Dylan Long trying to gain some spots, so he's suddenly into the mix here. Look at how close all these guys are. 4 riders going through the wave section at the same time. Dylan Long's trying to get the pass done on Kohenauer down the inside. Kohenauer slams the door and puts him down. Davis crashes on the back of Dylan Long, and Brandon Holmes sneaks through to make a couple passes, and now he's trying to go after Kohenauer himself, and Dylan Long goes down in the background. Not sure what happened there, but Brandon Holmes is suddenly in the mix here. Oh, and now stacked up in the corner is Kohenauer. Who wants these positions? It's absolutely musical chairs going on right now. Dylan Copeland just gained about 5 spots in 3 corners, so he's probably pumped about that. Meanwhile, it will be Holm 4th, Fjellberg 5th. Leclerc is down, but Seth Garrett will not get to him. Not sure what happened with Leclerc there. Lappers going around him there. That was Thomas Sunis. Here comes Ethan Parks. So riders that are a lap down. Seth Garrett's going to get fairly close in the end, but he'll have to settle for 7th, which is still a great ride nonetheless. Copeland has clawed up to 8th. Brandon Holmes 9th. Kohenauer. Last corner. Might have a move on Holmes. Holmes trying to send it in. Oh, and Holmes goes down. Kohenauer crosses the line 9th. Holmes trying to get it righted, and there goes Dylan Long in the final corner, and Holmes gets taken out by Devin Davis. Dylan Long finishes 10th. Devin Davis 11th. Armstrong comes across 12th, and Holmes, who was battling for 9th, goes across 13th, just beating Austin Eklund over the line for 14th, so he'll be really pissed off about that one. 15th for Kyler Hockey, 16th was Deering, 17th Mitchell, 18th Cohen, 19th Speck, and 20th was Kyle Carpenter. Let's see if cuts affected anything. Wow, surprisingly not. As close as some of those finishes were, they did not change anything. It is still Haley picking up the win in this one. Whew. That was a close one down the stretch. My goodness. But it is going to be Haley taking the win. And we will now head to a little 5-minute intermission, but we're not going off the air. We are staying right here. And this is usually where I like to ask if you guys have any questions about the game or anything you need answered. I am here to be your answering machine, I guess, so that I can help you with whatever questions you may be having. And hopefully you learned something along the way. I see a lot of people hanging out, chatting in the chat right now, so good to see. 158 live viewers. Great action so far here tonight. Oh, man. All right, let's see. How far is Holm down? Holm, Haley was 6 back of Leclerc, and Holm was 15 back, so 21 down of Leclerc entering this round, but obviously he just gained 3 points back on him, so he's 18 down, and I think Haley just took the championship lead with that. Leon Ty comes in here, says he sucked, too nice of a lapper. M. Garrett says, I need to race. No, I don't. I really don't. I'm terrible. I may race AMs, though, this year. I'm thinking about racing AMs if I'm around on the weekends, which I probably will be once my daughter's born, so try to race AMs. Why is Alexis Leclerc not really liked in Sim? A lot of reasons. He kind of has always had a real cocky attitude about him, which is why I didn't like him back in the day. It is what it is. Like, I like to see him race now, so I'm a big fan of his actual racecraft these days. But he's taken out a lot of people, so people didn't really like that. He's always been, you know, kind of cocky, which it is what it is, like I said. And he wins a lot, so people who win a lot usually aren't very well liked unless your name is Tyson Fresquez. So combination of things stack up, and I think most of the time people don't really enjoy racing Leclerc, but a lot of people do defend him and say that he's really fun to race against. So it's mixed. It's a mixed bag of people. How long did it take you to learn track building? I mean, to build some of the tracks that I ended up building, which were some of my better tracks later on in my building days, I guess. I guess it probably took me like a few weeks to get all the basics down, and then, you know, perfecting it from there on out. So in total, to build some of the tracks that I did, maybe like a couple months to get as good as I was. Because he barks on all the Americans. How long? Yeah, Jace Hendricks, I already answered your question. Kyler Hockey was 13th and got destroyed. I was yo-yoing the whole race. That sucks, man. Can you see the points board? Well, I can't see the live points board, but I mean, I could show you the current points board, which looks like this. Is it this one? Nope, that's the wrong one. Am I wrong one? It is this one. So that is the points entering tonight. Like I said, 6 points back for Haley, and Holm was 21 back of Leclerc. So gained some points, but yeah, not enough to close up on Leclerc. But Haley, I think, did just take the championship lead by winning that moto. Unofficially took the championship lead because obviously he's not going to hold the red plate for the second moto. But if he can beat Leclerc again or keep it close, he may leave here with the red plate. Yeah, Davis and Leclerc not happy with each other whatsoever. I should maybe do it real life, like race in real life? Yeah, I mean, sure. I'll race in real life. I definitely have some plans to start doing some races in real life. Sooner rather than later, hopefully. Kind of just been enjoying life, and I go riding occasionally, but not a lot of racing in recent years. I raced a lot growing up, like from when I was like 10 or 11 till I was 18. Probably raced 20, 30 times a year, and then I don't know, just kind of went to college and wasn't really, I was trying to focus on school and didn't ride as much, so I didn't race as much, and then kind of just didn't get super back into the whole riding scene since I was focusing so hard on getting a career in the industry. And now I have a career in the industry, so I started to go riding a little bit more, but it still is few and far between, unfortunately. But eventually I'll get a more solid schedule going where I can go riding more often. I like riding, so why not? Yeah, actually, we have decided for a name for our daughter. I think we've said it publicly. We're going to name her Holly, so whenever she comes, Holly Brauer. Let's see, yeah, I ride in real life. I like to see whoever I like to see win. I mean, I'm happy to see all types of racing, so it doesn't matter to me. Any advice on building tracks? Yes, my advice is go check out our track building tutorials that I've put up on the channel before, because it's basically a start to finish guide on how to build tracks in this game. Any questions that people had back then were brought up. I feel like I hit as many marks as I could about nodes and decals and statues and shape files and terrain HF files and lighting files and timing gates and starting gates and all those things. It's a lot of work, but just go check those out. What time is this track capped IRL? Called? What time is this track called? What time is this track called? This is Neuquén, the Argentinian Grand Prix. Yeah, I mean, I would like to get my daughter into riding. I think that we'll probably start her off on like Striders and then go into Stasics before we put her on a dirt bike. But, you know, that's still, you know, I don't think I'll put her on a Strider until she can, you know, actually walk comprehensively, and then put her on a Strider. She'll stride around until she's probably 2-ish, you know, 2.5, and then get her on a Stasic. Be on a Stasic for a couple years, and then eventually on a P-Dub 50 or something like that. But yeah, I want to get her into riding, of course, like family sport, motocross, so love it. Play Monster Energy Super Crooks 2 and 3. I play it a lot. I mean, I don't know what else you want. I play Supercross 3 a lot, post videos on it all the time, so I don't know what more you could ask for. I mean, I'm playing a ton. All right, folks. Moto number 2 on the gate here in Argentina. It's the Argentinian Grand Prix, MX1 Race 2. Let's drop that gate. Devin Davis, pretty good jump in the middle, but he's going to be swarmed around. Does he cut back underneath and get the whole shot? It's Walter Gebhardt, Racetech.com, whole shot award. Leclerc, a good start. Haley, another good start as well. He's trying to swing around the outside. And it is still going to be Gebhardt with the lead. Haley and Leclerc side by side in second. And Leclerc trying to get down the inside to move into second, and he will do so. Copeland's up there. I see Leitzel moving around Copeland. Blakely's got a good start. No sign. I didn't see Adam Holm kind of mixed in there just yet, though. Looking for the green, number 1. Didn't quite see it. Leclerc moving into second, though, trying to go after Gebhardt right away for the lead. Would love to just get out front and win this moto, if at all possible. But Gebhardt holding strong out front, at least early on in the running. I did not see a green bike back there at all. Holm must be pretty far down the order. He is 23rd right now on timings. Timing and scoring shows him 23rd, and he might be going backwards, or maybe he just went a bunch forward, not sure. So it's Gebhardt from Leclerc and Haley. Blakely right there in 4th, so Blakely and Haley might be battling each other for the overall today. Leclerc kind of a non-factor between them, especially if they finish right behind him, as he finished 6th in that first moto. And obviously Haley won with Blakely 2nd, so Leclerc just going to try to win this one and hope he gets as many points clawed back against Haley as possible. But Leclerc having a couple problems there at the end of the first lap, has Haley right on his back door, and Gebhardt's pulling away out front. They're able to open up a little bit of a gap on Haley. Little long there on landing. And Gebhardt just quietly trying to sneak away at the front. Haley still right there. Blakely and the top 4 have opened up a small gap now on Copeland. Dylan Long with another good start. He's up in 6th. Remember, he finished top 10 in that first moto, so a really good week for him thus far. Kyler Hockey, he came in chat after that first moto and explained how he was 13th for so much of the race, kind of yo-yoing with that group that we were watching so much of. And then he crashed late and fell further back down the field, so he's looking for a turnaround moto, and it helps that he got a good start in this one as he's up front early, battling it out with Dylan Long. Peter Like also in the mix, as is Will Whiteley. We got Sean Smith, Jeremy Kohenauer, Caden Speck, and then Adam Holm coming through. Looks like he's in about 12th, 13th. He's 13th, I should say. And he's got basically all the way up to 5th right in front of him. Nice scrub there for Holm, trying to keep things close. Still got Kyler Hockey giving Dylan Long some fits up here. Both these guys having pretty good weeks comparatively. I know Hockey was a little bit bummed with the first moto result there, obviously, but he was running right inside of the points most of the moto. Just kind of fell apart late, and then Long, I don't even think he scored points at Valkenswaard, but right now he's running top 10 both motos and looking to maybe put in an 8th overall, 7th overall, somewhere in that range. 10-6. Good stuff. Let's check back in out front. Still Gebhardt. It's actually opened up the gap on Leclerc. How about a lap time check? 43.4, 43.1 for Gebhardt, so he's actually definitively opened up that gap based on time alone. 45 flat for Haley, so he's lost touch with them just a little bit, 2.7 seconds down. And a 44.8 for Blakely. So again, Haley and Blakely kind of going back to the same status quo they were having in the first moto. The only difference is they're battling for third instead of for first. And in this scenario, Blakely looks like he is going a little bit faster than Haley, at least in the early runnings of this. We'll see how it kind of shakes down as the race continues to go on. 44.7. There's a 43.6 out of Haley, so he's picked up the pace once again. 43.2 out of Leclerc and a 42.6 for Gebhardt. So definitely our front four laying down a blistering pace, and none more so than Walter Gebhardt in the lead of this thing as he is trying to get away from Alexis Leclerc, who is by all means a hot lapper in his own right. So got a hot lap with hot lap, essentially. Fight fire with fire. Gap out to 2.6 seconds, and really basically 2.6 seconds between all of them all the way through back to Blakely, and a sizable 7-second gap back to Dylan Copeland. But he's kind of by himself, and Hockey has moved around Dylan Long, so we've lost Dylan Long somewhere. Hockey's moved up to 6th. Peter Lijk is up here in 7th. Eklund is 8th. Speck is 9th. Armstrong is 10th. Leitzel 11th. Carpenter 12th. Cohenauer 13th. And then Dylan Long 14th. So he dropped, what is that, 8 places? And there goes Speck down off the outside of the track. So Will Whiteley gains a spot. Seth Garrett goes through. Devin Davis and Ethan Parks are now ahead of Adam Holm, who has dropped down to, was the 17th? 19th, Adam Holm. Oh, it was so good in the first moto. Charging forward and gaining some valuable points on championship leader Alexis Leclerc, and he's watching it all go away right now. Oh, and he gets a little cross jump there with Ethan Parks. It was kind of both of them coming together. Parks may have come over a little bit harder there, but nowhere either of them could go. They're in the air for so long. And Holm is down again, and he is now going to be outside of the points. He has got a long time to work through the field. Still 23 minutes and 2 laps left on the clock, so at least from that sense, he actually has time on his side. Caden Speck shoots down the inside of Will Whiteley and almost got that pass done, but Whiteley fights back underneath of him. Let's see if Speck tries to get him into this second to last corner. He does not. Whiteley holds it, and then Speck hits him. And Seth Garrett's trying to sneak around the outside. So shooting down the inside was Speck. Doolies almost clipped each other over the finish line jump. Devin Davis lurking back there, just hoping they get together. Oof, Logan Leitzel backwards over the big double. Oh my. Good Lord, Logan Leitzel. What got into your Cheerios this morning? He's trying to get around his teammate Armstrong. And he's going to do it by swinging to the outside and getting the pass done. Next up will be Peter Lijk. Peter Lijk is dealing with Austin Eklund. Everybody just throwing big scrubs, trying to get the power back down there. Freight trainer riders here headed off by Eklund. Lijk under attack already from Leitzel. More dualies, and Leitzel's about to make this pass just right down the inside. Nicely done. Seems like the 76 machine is the man on the move. We have a change for the lead up front. It is now Leclerc leading. Gebhardt has tossed it away. Must be a crash, 51.2 to his normal 42-second range, so definitely was most likely a crash. If not, he just fell a couple times and stayed on the bike. But now has Jack Haley hot on his heels. Blakely has lost touch with Haley. Out front, Dylan Copeland still kind of all by himself here. Who was down? Must be going the other direction. Kyler Hockey. Eklund. Wasn't Leclerc that was down, was it? No, he's just coming into this corner now, so definitely wasn't him. And let's keep an eye on this close battle brewing here for the 2 spot. Go on board with Haley and see what it looks like through the waves. Haley. Nice save, though. Kind of got kicked out of that inside rut, and it shot him back across the track, but he basically just landed on the embankment and kept going. Losing touch a little bit right now with Gebhardt. Gebhardt looks like he wants to go win this moto. He is pulled back away from Haley and is trying to reel back in Leclerc. Lap time check, 43.5 Leclerc. A 41.5 out of Gebhardt. Just clawed 2 seconds away that last lap alone, and only sits 3 seconds behind Leclerc. Not sure if that lapper kind of held Leclerc up a little bit, if at all, but if it did, it was minute, because Leclerc still ran one of his best laps of the race. That gap is coming down, though. Gebhardt just slowly but surely trying to bring it down. Just carries a ton of speed into this middle rut. Flows through the corner. Oh, just lost a little bit of time there. Kind of had the rear end kick out on him. Gains it all right back, though. Just right back to that 3 second mark, just hovering there. Seems like he's staying really low on the jumps, too. It might just be me. I'm not on board with Leclerc to see how exactly he's doing on the jumps, but Gebhardt seems like he's just got the right momentum and speed every time to just kind of scrub down and stay so low on these jumps. Downside, everything's so clean. Got it to 2.5. Now almost to just 2. Man, Walter Gebhardt just reeling in Alexis Leclerc. Yep, now it's at 2 seconds exactly. Curious to see what this lap time is, because even with a little mistake there at the beginning, I mean, he is absolutely ripping the track right now. Leclerc, I've always thought of Leclerc as someone who thinks of himself as faster than everybody, and he really kind of is most of the time, but it's got to be so weird from his perspective to just be caught by someone in a race based on pretty much raw speed. Like, yeah, maybe lappers played a little bit of a part there, but still, that's kind of intense. So Haley's losing touch with them a little bit. Blakely is pretty far back of the lead trio now, but he's just holding Dylan Copeland at bay. Logan Leitzel is still trying to charge forward, and he is heading towards the top 5 if he can get up to Copeland. Austin Eklund quietly putting together a really solid moto here. So nicely done for the 24. Seabolt, turnaround moto for him. Keeping tabs on the 24. Cohenauer, Hockey, Garrett, Whiteley, and then Adam Holm running 13th. Oh, man. Little scrub there for Leclerc. Almost went wrong, and then he almost landed on a dude there. That was the 48 of Brandon Holmes. Not a good moto for Brandon Holmes after the first one seemed so promising. It's interesting how these motos have shaken down. Like, both classes, really not a ton of consistency from moto to moto. It seems like you get a good start, you start running the pace up front, you kind of stick up there, and everybody else was faltering. I mean, even Gebhardt was a guy that did not have a very good first moto, same with his teammate Seabolt. And then, you look at someone like Brandon Holmes, who was near the front in the first moto. Now he's kind of struggling and already going a lap down. Interesting dynamic, no doubt. And still hovering right at that 3 second mark for our lead group. Let's go find ourselves a battle. Ooh, Dylan Copeland, he just got passed by Eklund and Siebold, and he's in danger of getting passed by Kohenauer from behind as well. Here is Copeland, and there is Kohenauer, the 14 and the 15, battling on the racetrack right now. Let's see if Kohenauer shows a wheel to the inside. He almost got there, just not quite enough. And then Copeland shoots back across the track, so Kohenauer takes full advantage, slides down the inside and makes the move. So he's going to try to go after Austin Eklund just up the road of him. Siebold also just up from these guys as well. Leitzel is just trying to claw his way forward to get to Blakely. And this battle for the lead has stayed pretty stagnant. Now it's under 2 seconds though. So maybe Gebhardt has found the groove once again. Yeah, he's definitely closed it back down again. It is hovering at that 1.5 second range, and he's carrying so much speed into these corners. Now it's almost under a second. Let's see the lap time. Leclerc made a mistake, 42.2, and Leclerc lands side by side, almost makes contact, and Leclerc pops a wheelie to get the front wheel off the ground and reduce drag. Now up underneath, Gebhardt just comes across his nose and takes him down. Alexis Leclerc on the ground. No love lost right there whatsoever, and Haley's going to go through and immediately crash. Haley is down. He had moved back into second and immediately falls off the bike. So just like that, within a couple 100 feet of each other, Leclerc and Haley both have fall-off crashes, and that battle for the lead is over. Gebhardt now has a nice lead going. Leclerc settles back into second, Haley's third, and Blakely is fourth. And Leitzel's still fifth. Boy, oh boy, was that an interesting one. Not sure what happened right there that allowed Gebhardt. I mean, he basically just came across the nose of Leclerc. Didn't seem overly aggressive. He seemed like he left him room on the right side of the track from the onboard perspective, and when we switched to the camera, when Leclerc was already flipping. So not sure if he knew exactly what he was doing there with coming across Leclerc's nose, or maybe Leclerc just didn't read it well enough and suddenly somebody was coming across his nose. Be interesting to see it from a few different perspectives, and I'm sure both of them have differing opinions. I would guarantee Gebhardt is going to say he didn't take him out on purpose, and I guarantee Leclerc is going to say that he did take me out on purpose and it was BS, so everybody's going to have a different story. But Siebold made the move on Copeland, and he just made the move on Kohenauer, who was down. He's trying to tail after Austin Eklund. Kyler Hockey still in a good position up front. Seth Garrett working on putting two strong motos together on the number 100. Peter Like dealing with a little bit of lap traffic just ahead of him, and then Adam Holm, who just looks like he just got around Dylan Long. Little dualies action. Ash Deering on the 34 is also mixed into this. So a little three-rider freight train here, and Holm doing what he can to get away from this group and gain as many points as possible to salvage anything good out of this moto, because this one is not what he was hoping for in the slightest after a good first moto. And we got a rider down. That is a lapper. Meanwhile, Deering down the inside of Long. Does he get this pass done? Long swooping in. Oh, he has to go wide, and Deering holds the position down the inside to make that move. So that pushes Dylan Long back to 15th. Ash Deering running in 14th. But Whiteley is 16th. Kyle Carpenter back here in 17th. James Armstrong running 18th. Aaron Rockefeller, how about this, running 19th? Good ride for the 800. And Fjellberg down here in 20th. Colton Mitchell, first man outside of the points. Caleb Hall back here. Caden Speck, Ethan Parks, Andrade off the side of the track. A couple people still trying to find their way into the points here late in this moto, as we're just about to get to the 20-minute mark. Seems like Gebhardt has this one fairly under control right now, but it would be so interesting if Leclerc caught him again. 44.3 to a 44.2. I mean, they're running the exact same lap time, so seems unlikely without a fall. But if he does get to him, I'd have to imagine Leclerc is going to give him the business right back. And boy, would that be something. Oh, Leclerc down. Leclerc has gone down again in the sweeper, and Haley is just getting there as Leclerc gets up. So that kind of solidifies the lead now for Gebhardt, barring a couple big crashes. But the battle for second is on. And again, GP victory-wise, this isn't really much of anything because Haley sitting in a really good position to wrap that thing up with a 1-3. And I think as they run, he still would leave here as the points leader. But Haley now putting pressure on Leclerc, just trying to make him have an unforced error. And we've seen, I mean, if you haven't, I don't know what you're doing, but we've seen Jack Haley turn into a beast in the second half of races. If you go to YouTube right now and type in Jack Haley is an animal, you'll see the fastest ever lap run at Southwick in this game, and it was done by Jack Haley on the last lap of the second moto of the 2019 Southwick National, and it was insane. So Haley knows how to put in some real flyers late in the races when the track is getting its roughest, and he might try to use that strategy here to pick up some points on Leclerc down the stretch. Look at the speed they both carry into that corner. It's almost like their rear tires are just so planted on the ground that they're just kind of controlling where the front tire goes at all times. Like they just have so much grip and traction. They're just like carry the front here, carry the front there. So Leclerc seems to have opened up just a very small, minute lead here on Haley, enough that he doesn't have to worry about Haley trying to make a pass attempt, but it's still close enough that one small bobble is all it's going to take. And Haley would love to pounce on that opportunity, get some points back in this championship. And he's actually so good through this first half of the racetrack. Seems like the high-speed stuff, Haley has it kind of dialed. And interestingly enough, you get to the more tight and technical sections, and Leclerc seems to have maybe the better setup. Lap traffic. That's the 53? I believe Billy Kunitz, and I know there's a 96 of Ethan Parks there too. And is that, I think they're both the Nova GFX team. Nicely done to get out of the way though, but they basically just hug the left side of the track and let everybody go by. Yeah, Caden Speck back there on the 19 was also in the mix. I feel like the second I switch away from this battle, it's going to get good. Leclerc just trying to weave through lap traffic. He's come to Fernando Andrade on the 17. Andrade into the first corner, just going to swing wide, let Leclerc have the inside. Very nicely done by the rider out of Brazil. Leclerc looks like he has found another comfort zone though, and Haley's just trying to keep him honest at this point. Here's Gebhardt with the lead though. He's after the waves. Big table at the end of the waves and going through the switchback now, heading back up the big hill in the center of the racetrack. So these guys haven't even entered the waves yet. Gives you an idea to how big the lead is right now. Oh, Leclerc, a little short on the table there. Didn't seem to get the drive at the end of the whoops that he wanted, or maybe got on the brakes too hard to check out for that jump. Definitely allowed Haley to close in pretty tight here. And suddenly this battle that I didn't want to switch away from for so long is finally starting to get a little better. Ooh, Haley got that corner so well. More lap traffic. I think that's Aaron Rockefeller. Not going to swear to it, but it looks like it might be the 800. Leclerc trying to find a way around, and it is Rockefeller. Leclerc gets kind of hung up on the rut there, and Haley's taking advantage of it to get a little bit closer. These two battling for the championship points lead, but battling for second on the racetrack, and as Leclerc makes a mistake, he goes to the inside of the split. He has to launch down this just to hold on to the spot, and Haley coming in with a sweeping line goes inside. I don't think that was the right move. He should have funneled into that main line behind him because he just lost some time when he was right on him there. And so now he has to go back to the drawing board to try to close down that small gap a little bit more and have an opportunity to make a pass on the 7. 18 seconds down at Gebhardt, really between the two of them to settle it out for second. There's so much good battling going on throughout the field. I just hate that I'm missing so much of it. But when you have the two championship rivals running second and third and they're this close for this long, you just have to imagine something's going to happen. It's gonna. There's no way. The pace is so high. Lap time check, 45.8 to a 46.3. It's actually dropped down. Oh, Gebhardt was down with the lead at the top of the hill. That's going to bring the lead down to probably under 10 seconds at this point. Oh, Haley is right there, and he got a nice line coming into this corner. Look at how good he gets this corner, too. Look at that. Just lays it over. Leclerc seems to get good power without having to get that rut clean. Oh, Haley is right there. Oh, Leclerc goes for a new line, kind of busting a double over. Didn't seem faster, though. Look at Haley still right on him. Interesting. So Leclerc goes for a new line. I wonder if he's been trying to size that up as the rut got deeper. Didn't work out, though, and Haley is all over him. And, man, before long, this might creep up to the battle for the lead. It's a 9-second gap for Gebhardt, but another fall out of him, and suddenly these guys are all over him. Nothing in it over the finish line jump this time by mechanics area. Got the cardboard figures hanging out the side, just screaming. Oh, Haley's right there. Where does he make his move, though? I mean, he's so close, but does he have something lined up where he thinks he's a little bit faster? Maybe coming out of that midsection where he's getting that rut clean. He's so good in the back, though. I think he's going to try to get alongside him in the waves if he can. He's not close enough right now, but if he can get a little closer in these next couple of corners, he might have an opportunity. And Leclerc made a small bobble, but he recovered nicely. And he got a great drive into the rollers. Haley's is a little bit better. Leclerc almost tripled in the mid-rollers, though. And it does seem like Haley gets the rollers cleaner. But for now, Leclerc holds him at bay. And another small bobble. It's so slight, these little mistakes that they're making, you just barely notice them. But Haley popped down to the inside of the rut, so he slid in to get back into it. And it allowed a little bit more of a gap to Leclerc. Nothing in it still, though. Oh, has to take an inside line because Fjellberg's there. Haley's also trying to move, and Fjellberg is just like, get out of the way. I got to go across the track. Oh, Haley hits a hole in the ground and gets stood up. And that's going to cost him so much time. Look at just a little mistake like that. Loses 3 seconds in a tight battle like that. So unfortunate. Blakely and Leitzel still back here. Siebold, Austin Eckland. I mean, so many good storylines going on through this race. A lot of good turnaround rides that we haven't talked about. Another solid moto out of Cohenauer. Copeland's going to be disappointed because he was running top 5 and drops back to 9th here. And Adam Holm has finally squeaked into 10th. 46.2 last time by. Oh my gosh, that was a big whip. Maybe he's just having fun at this point because he knows he's not going to score the points he really needed in this moto. Devin Davis just joined chat and said Leclerc has some payback coming his way. So Devin Davis, I believe, out of this moto. So yeah, it takes the DNF. He DNF'd here on the side in the back section, it looks like. A lot of DNFs actually going through everybody here. Let's peek back out front and see where we're at. Ooh, Leclerc. Haley. Oh, Haley was down the inside. He almost got the pass. And Gebhardt's not too far ahead of these guys. This is definitely tightened up. So something happened either with Gebhardt or Haley found that extra gear. It is not that far apart now. And are they going to get to the flag before time expires? Oh my gosh, it's going to be close. Yeah, they are. Gebhardt, final corner, 10 seconds on the clock. It is going to be 3 to go as he crosses with 6 seconds remaining on the clock. And all eyes are going to be on this battle between Haley and Leclerc right now. Literally nothing in it once again. Oh, mistake. Gebhardt has slid out of the lead. And here comes the lead trio now. It's a 3-way battle at the front. Gebhardt, Leclerc, and Haley in that order. They're trying to lap Dylan Long, who is in the points. So they're trying to lap people in the points, and this is not going to be easy at this point. Long just swings way wide and tries to let him go. 3. Oh, and Haley gets into Leclerc's back wheel. Definitely some lag involved because Haley didn't even hit him on our screen. Oh, Leclerc, he gets into the back of Gebhardt's bike and somehow stays up. So now it's Gebhardt and Leclerc battling for the lead. Unfortunately, Haley goes down in that mess. So now Leclerc, I don't know, maybe he's just going to settle off the back because man, if he goes up and tries to get Gebhardt, Gebhardt may just put him down on the ground again. Poor Haley. Oh, he was trying that line that Leclerc was doing there, but that just almost put him down on the ground. So he is probably looking at third here, and it definitely looks like Leclerc is backed off of Gebhardt. So Gebhardt checks in, 2-lap board now, waving. I mean, Leclerc is only a second down, but he was much closer, and it is slowly opened back up now. Because in his eyes, I mean, Gebhardt is not in this championship. Well, he kind of is. He's not that close, though. Especially after that first moto. That was not something he was hoping to have happen. And Leclerc, although he would probably like to win this moto and maybe leave here at the red plate, he's not going to win the overall. And at the very least, he would probably prefer to beat Haley instead of go up and get in a fight with Gebhardt. Takes himself down because they clearly still have a little bit of bad blood going. So Gebhardt's just trying to sail away with the lead out front. Oh, Gebhardt made a mistake. Oh, Gebhardt made a big mistake. And Leclerc is going to take the lead. Lap and a half to go. And now he doesn't have a choice because Gebhardt is probably going to send caution to the wind here to try to close down in these last couple laps. Look at how hard he just hit that rut. And I think if Gebhardt gets to him again, we may see another one in the same. I mean, I don't think he's going to admit to doing it on purpose, what he did to get the pass done in the first place. But clearly he wants to win this moto, and he is probably not going to stop at any cost, and he's already on the back of Leclerc again. Haley's 20 seconds down, so there's really nothing in it for Leclerc to finish first. Yeah, he's just let him go. Just let him go. I mean, like I said, if he's not in the title fight, you got to beat Haley. You just got to beat Haley in every moto you can. Chip away the points. So if you're going to have someone pass you, don't have them put you on the ground and maybe put yourself at risk of losing more points to Haley. At this point, he probably doesn't know how far Haley is back, but if somebody did tell him, he would know that Haley's too far back that it didn't matter. But interesting nonetheless. And Haley's going to probably settle for third here, but it will be the overall Grand Prix win. How about this battle for fourth, though? Blakely getting passed around the outside by Logan Leitzel. Yeah, that has been a long, clawed-up battle this entire race. Leitzel has just slowly but surely chipped away at Chase Blakely and finally catches him for fourth. Makes the pass as the white flag comes out. Now does Blakely have a response here? What can Blakely do in response? Oof, lap rider. Whew, that was close. Blakely not really getting the challenge done just yet. Here's Siebold right in front of Kohenauer, and Holm. Wow, Holm has done a really good job to claw his way forward here. So again, going to lose some points to Leclerc and Haley on the night, but man, if he gets all the way up and finishes, Siebold would be 6th. That would be some good points for Holm, who was looking a little bit bleaker than it was not too long ago. Well, Blakely is caught back up to Leitzel. Meanwhile, up front, what a ride. Walter Gebhardt gets the whole shot in the second moto and leads basically wire to wire. MX1 Race 2 goes to Walter Gebhardt on the Panini Motorsports number 5 as he backflips the finish line jump. Leclerc will settle for 2nd. Looks like he's relatively happy with that through a pretty big whip. GP win, though, going into the grasps of Jack Haley. 1-3 scores. I believe he leaves here as the points leader. It's going to be awfully tight at the top of the tables, though, as Haley comes through and wins the Argentinian Grand Prix. Finishes 3rd. I think he probably would have liked to win that moto. Oh, Blakely threw it in on Leitzel there. Couple turns to go, but it's just going to come up short here. Leitzel has a couple more corners. 1 turn to go, and Leitzel will indeed hold on for 4th. Blakely 1.2 seconds down in 5th. Jeremy Siebold trying to hold off Adam Holm for 6th. This is going to be a good one to the end. Jeremy Kohenauer's just sitting back there, hoping these guys potentially get together, give him another freebie to get up into 6th. Siebold's just going to try to hold it together these last couple corners, gets that corner clean, and he will indeed come across the line in 6th. So he holds Adam Holm at bay. 7th for Holm, 8th for Kohenauer in the end. Austin Eklund, he was 6th for much of this race. He's going to end up potentially 9th if he holds off Copeland. Copeland's trying to give it one last kind of dash for the cash here, but Eklund's going to get this corner pretty clean. This rut's been having some troubles for some people, but Eklund gets that clean as well, comes across 9th. Copeland ends up 10th. Kyler Hockey looks like he'll end up 11th. 12th for Deering. And the last man on the lead lap is Kyle Carpenter, who ends up 13th. If he ever crosses the finish line, jump, there we go. Mitchell, Garrett, Fjellberg, Long, Speck, Armstrong, and Like round out the top 20. Looks like Deering got around Hockey on cuts, so Hockey ends up 12th. Deering ends up 11th. And Blakely did get back around Leitzel on cuts. Leitzel had 1.97 seconds of cuts to 0.33 seconds of cuts for Blakely. And then our top 3 stay the exact same. Gebhardt, Moto2 winner. Haley, overall winner. Argentinian Grand Prix in the MX1 division. Whew! What a night, folks. That was insane down the stretch there. Close battle between Gebhardt and Leclerc. It ends up with Gebhardt taking the win. Haley takes the overall, and I believe now has the red plate in the class. Oh, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was insane. So let me do the math real quick. There was 6 points between him coming in. Haley won the first moto. Leclerc finished 6th. So that's... So that was a 10-point gain, and then Leclerc gained 2 back. So it was an 8-point overall gain on the night for Haley. So he has the points lead by 2 points on Leclerc heading into the next Grand Prix, which will be happening next week. Wow. Wow, 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 what a night. Crazy stuff, no doubt about it. And yeah, thanks guys for joining us. Round 3, I should say, of the 2020 MXS Grand Prix Championship in MX Simulator. Round 4 coming up next week. But don't forget tomorrow night to join us at round 1 of the Ride365.com Pro Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. First round tomorrow night, WW Ranch. We're kicking it off. Be sure to check back here tomorrow. Pretty much the same time and same place we'll get started. We'll post on social feeds as well so you guys know where to go. And be sure to head down to the description below to check out our merch store and get some merch if you guys want to check some of that stuff out. It would be really appreciative. And yeah, thanks for tuning in to the 3rd round of the 2020 MXS Grand Prix Championship. My name is Kellen Brauer, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night.